foreigners reside, you have to pay protection fee for you to be protected in that area. So this thing that happened leading to the shot of this Ghanaian man had to do with protection fee.
Government says it is pushing for justice for the deceased while also working on arrangements to repatriate the body of Bashiru Isaac to Ghana for burial. The government is also demanding a full, transparent and expedited investigation while calling for improved protection for Ghanaians living in affected communities. The South African government, in a statement, has rejected the government of Ghana's claims, saying the attack is believed to be extortion-related.
Some more here, and the government has announced an increase in the daily feeding grant for learners with special needs in special schools across the country, raising it from 8 Ghana cedis to 15 Ghana cedis per child. The intervention, announced by the Ministry of Education, is expected to improve the welfare of thousands of vulnerable learners while reaffirming the government's commitment to inclusive education.
For many children living with disabilities and special educational needs, the journey to acquiring an education has often been marked by financial challenges, inadequate resources, and limited support. One of the biggest concerns over the years has been the inadequate feeding grant for students in special schools. Stakeholders say the previous 8 cedis per child was insufficient to meet their nutritional needs. Responding to these concerns, the Minister of Education, Harry Nedrisu, has announced that the government has increased the daily feeding grant to 15 cedis per learner.
Has also further increased that to 15 cedis. So feeding now in all special needs schools across the country, the grant has been adjusted upwards from 8 cedis to 15 cedis. Implementation is effective immediate from today. I know that some even started before today, but from today, now official, formal.
Currently, there are 39 special schools across the country, with more than 20 operating as boarding institutions and serving thousands of learners with diverse disabilities. The minister also announced that beginning 2027, the government will allocate 100 million cedis annually to finance programs and interventions aimed at supporting persons with special needs.
With Student Loan Trust, we have paid the tuition fees and accommodation costs of some 1,554 students. We enrolled in 65 public tertiary institutions for 2025-2026. A total investment of nearly 10 million Ghana cedis. But for the media, you quote me right, 9,812,000 Ghana cedis. When I say nearly, is what we have.
In a related development, the Education Minister disclosed that the government has also made available 40 million cedis for the procurement of assistive learning materials to improve teaching and learning for students with disabilities.
Now, a victim of Monday's flood is asking for the payment of compensation to persons who have been affected due to human-related activities. 70-year-old UK-based Ghanaian Yao Emisartha chastised local authorities for looking on while people he describes as miscreant built in waterways. George Quenin has the rest of the story.
The flood situation in Klagon is dire. Some residents admit that the level of destruction is totally strange to them. 78-year-old Yao Chumberima is one of them. He has virtually lost everything.
I've lived here since 2007. When I retired from London, I lived in London for 52 years, since 1972. When I came back to relax quietly, I've lived through June, July 20 times. This terrible flooding I've never witnessed it before. Because there were no encroachers at the back. But 2 years ago, I've seen some people come in the background. I don't know who gave them the permit to do what they're doing. They put up some structures. Illegally, I know it's illegal, but the assembly has the oversight responsibility to stop this nonsense going on.
He is considering a possible suit against local authorities for allowing people to build in waterways.
We want democracy to work. I live in London. I see democracy is driven by certain principles, the respect for the rule of law, independent integrity, and all that. But here in Ghana, I don't see one of it even working. People lie, integrity. They lie for money, and then they turn the other way around. So we are not making progress. After 69 years of political independence, Ghana shouldn't be going through this.
His neighbor, Thomas Annan, who is based in the United States, has also been affected. A relief package may be coming in handy, but financial analyst and chief executive officer of Dealers Finance, Joe Jackson, is not excited about government support.
Are we going to spend 350 million every rainy season? Are we accepting this and doing the same thing that we've done in times past, which is when the disaster happens, we talk, we cry, we bury, and then we just go back to doing the same things again? Part of it should go towards implementing those things that can be implemented. We sit there as citizens, and I'll start with us, and we throw rubbish into gutters. That must be done. That must be fixed. Penalties must be driven, and we should have our communities look out for each other to say this is wrong.
Local authorities in this municipality have attributed this flooding to human-related activities. Just look right behind me, buildings on waterways. Should this persist, the worst could happen. George Queenan, TV3 News, Klagon, Community 19, Accra.
And still on this, a desperate search continues for victims of Monday's devastating flood at Alobushi near Achimota, where 8 people were swept away. Only 1 body has been recovered so far. Behind the grim statistics are shattered families, destroyed homes, and survivors struggling to come to terms with an unimaginable tragedy. Stanley Nibleo brought us this report.
At Alobushi, 8 people are feared dead after Monday's flood. 7 bodies remain missing, with only 1 recovered so far. Personnel from the Ghana Police Service were at the community on Wednesday afternoon to retrieve the body from the drain.
There were 2 ladies who missed their kids. Okay. Yes. Apart from that, today they retrieved another body at this site just an hour ago. Okay. Yes. And this stream, I wouldn't say it's a river, but it has not been like this at first. As I said, I've been here for long. It was something small that I even wished to jump over.
Waste materials are scattered everywhere. A visit to the storm drain reveals the scale of destruction left behind. Residents say the drain, which has widened over the years due to erosion, has become a major danger whenever it rains heavily. At this location, 2 drains converge, creating a powerful tributary. During Monday's downpour, the enormous volume of water from both drains generated a strong current that forced floodwaters back into nearby homes, inundating properties several meters away. Those living closest to the drain suffered the worst impacts. It was at this very spot that 6 people were swept away. Residents say 8 wooden kiosks serving as homes for several families were washed away. 1 kiosk housed a nuclear family of 4, including a week-old baby, while another was occupied by 2 young women. Both the occupants and the structures were swept away by the raging floodwaters. A surviving neighbor recounts the horrifying moments.
Not 2 ladies, there are about 8 people. They die. 8 die from here. The water take them away. 8.
How did it happen?
Oh, the water just back to them and take them away with the kiosk.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's supposed to mean that this is where they've been sleeping. This is where they've been living.
Sleeping. There they be living here. Together with their husband, everything. They be living here.
For many survivors, fear has replaced hope, with some considering relocating, while others struggle to rebuild their lives after losing everything. Residents say if they are to remain in the community through the rest of the rainy season, government must urgently reconstruct the drain to prevent another tragedy. Communal search teams are voluntarily combing the drain area in search of their missing neighbors. Meanwhile, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomolati, and the National Disaster Management Organization have handed over relief items to Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies (MMDAs) for onward distribution to survivors in affected communities, while commiserating with bereaved families. Earlier, additional relief items were presented to the Krowa Municipal Assembly for onward distribution to affected families and individuals within the Krowa municipality.
We are doing not less than 4 affected municipalities in a day. If we can stretch to 6 and 7, we will do that. And so you prioritize the most vulnerable. And when I say the most vulnerable, I'm talking about children, persons with disabilities, pregnant women, and then the aged. Then you consider others. We know most are already vulnerable, and we don't want the situation to worsen because of the disasters.
In Greater Accra, 22 of the existing 29 MMDAs were affected by the floods. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
And later today, from 1:30 a.m. the next dawn, the Black Stars of Ghana will complete they actually have completed their last training session ahead of the crucial World Cup game against Colombia later this dawn, and that will be at 1:30 a.m. And that's all for this morning on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on New Day.
I am Bruce Samson Jr., a 26-year-old recent graduate of KNUST with a Bachelor of Industrial Arts. I feel very honored and motivated to be on the Top Intern show because it presents to me a platform where I can learn from industry experts and then also build some professional relationships as well. Being on the show, I deem it a great honor again to connect with like-minded people like myself and then to also build the necessary capacity to be ready for the job market afterwards.
Hello, my name is Chris Afari Ado, a master's student from the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, studying environmental restoration studies, having a BSc in Energy, Resource and Economics. I'm 25 years of age and I'm here on the Top Intern to get the platform to showcase myself and my knowledge on sustainability and get a reputable institution to work with. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Fafa Ligeja. I'm an old student of the University of Media Arts and Communication Institute of Film and Television, UNIMAC IFT. I studied broadcast journalism. And I'm here on Top Intern to learn more, learn how to do group work, learn how to build my career and also connect with others. And my expectation for the show is to win. I want to build on myself and also connect with people.
Hello everyone, my name is Heavens Tacha Echampepra, a graduate from the University of Professional Studies Accra. I did BSc in Accounting. I'm here on Top Intern. I must say I'm excited and nervous at the same time. I'm looking forward to what the journey has for me and I'm praying to the Almighty God that He sees me through. What I'm bringing on Top Intern, I'm bringing fun, excitement, competitiveness, resilience, hard work, and all that there is to make this competition and to make this journey a very lively and exciting one.
My name is Ishmael Dure Champon. I'm a graduate from the University of Ghana where I got my undergraduate degree in political science. Currently, I am pursuing my postgraduate studies in MPhil Political Science at the University of Ghana and another MA in Development Communication from UNIMAC GIG. I hope to bring on the show my readiness to learn, the humility to learn, to challenge myself, and then the acumen to easily analyze situations and give pragmatic answers.
Hello, my name is Lily Solis Ayuku, a graduate student from UNIMAG IJ with a bachelor's degree in public relations. I'm excited and nervous at the same time to be part of Top Intern because I get to meet and learn from experts from different industries which will help me on the job market. What I'm bringing on board are my skills and my goals, and being on a Top Intern is going to help me learn new skills to equip myself to solve societal problems.
Hi, I am Magdalene Nana Kunido Achiban, 30 years old and a final year development and communication student from UNIMAC, the University of Media Arts and Communication. I have seen what Top Intern have done in the lives of its contestants. I am here for my skills to be honest, sharp enough to add my quota to the communication fraternity in Ghana and in Africa.
Hey people, Solange Shalom Cole is my name from Evangelical Presbyterian University College, affiliated to UCC. Excited to be on such a prestigious platform, Top Intern Season 3, and I'm most grateful to God Almighty. Me being here, I am ready to bring out my best of game, ready to learn, ready to impact the world at large. Expect excellence, expect exceptionality, expect that I bring you the A game on this show.
I'm Kedusia Ewenam Gavo, a 24-year-old and a graduate from the University of Ghana with a bachelor's degree in BSc Administration Accounting major. I'm excited to be part of the Top Intern journey, and I see Top Intern as a platform that would help me learn, grow, and connect with new people that will help me build my knowledge. On the Top Intern, you should expect a strong willingness from me to learn, bring on board teamwork, and a proactive mindset.
Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa Winam Banini. I'm 24 years old and a graduate in Actuarial Science from the University of Professional Studies. I am really excited to be on the Top Intern show, and I know that there's so much for me to learn. I am here for the mentorship, to learn about the different industries, and to grow my skills as a leader and to influence others.
I mean, this show is exciting, it's inspirational for so many reasons. The caliber of the guests, their stories, the fact that we get to eat something that they prepare. Let's enjoy it and have a great show.
Yes, we're in Ghana.
So I want to see how many healthy choices they will be making.
We're feeling good.
I want them to bring in the flavor because I am hungry.
I like the splash of flavors here.
It's just exciting to see everything that was playing in my head become a reality. So I'm happy and excited, yeah.
This is Cooking with Game Changers Ghana.
Cooking with Game Changers shows Sunday at 6 p.m. on TV3.
Ladies and gentlemen.
musician Kwame Eugene.
Yeah.
Beautiful songs.
Yeah.
I like the first one. I don't know the title of the first one. It seems to be saying a lot of.
Yes, I was struggling to hear the lyrics for the first one though, the words he was speaking. But this one, I could hear everything. Yes, Monica.
Yeah, playing back the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe we should watch that again, the first one. Yeah. Sudden, you are weighing him down. You have a car, you want to take his bike.
Yeah.
Interesting story.
Yeah.
Yellow.
And then he said,
once.
take him slow. Yes. Yeah. I would interpret it to be take it a day.
At a time.
At a time. Yeah. So it's nice.
I mean, that's what we have. I mean, given the week that we've been through,
a
very difficult week, very unfortunate week. We've lost 34 individuals to the floods. Thousands have been displaced. The displacements, the numbers, the Central region actually leads as the area that's had the most people displaced as well. Also in terms of deaths as well, Central region. Then Greater Accra also comes in strongly there. So very unfortunate situation that we find on our hands this week. Is the reason why if we have the gift of life this morning, we are right here, you have the chance. A lot of the times, I keep saying this, we take it for granted. You go to bed, you turn on the alarm, you set the alarm for 4 a.m., you sleep, you are thinking that the alarm is going to ring at 4 a.m. and 4 a.m. you're going to be up.
Yeah.
You know, there are people who go to bed with the same alarm in that manner, 4 a.m. and the 4 a.m. alarm rings and they never wake up. That is how much of a gift and grace that we enjoy on a daily basis. And a lot of time we take it so much for granted. Some of the videos that I've seen about the deaths, there were people who were being pulled out of cars. Yes, there's one that the gentleman was brought out of a car. He was dead. He was in the car. The water took the car away. He died in the car. They eventually found the car. They brought him out of the car dead.
Can you imagine the
this
kind
can
of
be anyone.
death he had?
Yeah. I mean, if you swim,
the pain.
If you swim, you know that dying by drowning will be difficult. It will be painful.
Yes.
You know, because you can feel you are out of air. You would be struggling and searching for the chance to come out. I remember when I was learning to swim, the swim coach always used to tell us that you should calm down and don't waste your energy, because the more you struggle, you are losing and using a lot of breath. The sign of death. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
We thank God for our life at this. Yes, I mean
muddy water swallowing that to your death, but it's also the Republic of the country. So you're welcome to New Day on TV3. It's a holiday, but like Joseph Akable is saying, it hasn't been an easy week for a lot of you across the country, particularly in the capital city. And with the deaths coming in, you said Central Region leading.
Yes, Central Region leads the
How many
death,
out of the
actually.
30 plus?
Yes,
so
in fact,
far?
I have the stats just here from NADMO.
Yeah.
So the death toll as a result of Monday's floods is at 34. Central Region leads the death toll with 18 deaths recorded in Central Region. Greater Accra follows with 12 deaths and 4 recorded in the Volta Region. And there's actually the suspicion that these numbers could be more because on Monday they gave us 12.
Yes.
Then subsequently between Monday and yesterday,
we
just kept seeing videos on social media of bodies being retrieved from all over the place. And what they've been doing over the period, NADMO Fire Service, is that there are people who have been reported missing.
Yes.
So they try and identify and match the persons just to make sure that they are accounting for the missing persons before they do anything else. And it is that accounting process that is going on. That is how come we are currently at 34. There are still videos that we've received since this 34 of people who have been retrieved in different parts of the country. So potentially the number could be more than
one of the
34.
traumatizing videos I watched from the deaths was when I saw a gentleman walking into, it looked like a swampy area, and dragging something out. So I was like, is that a goat or something? Not knowing it was a little boy or so.
Yes, I have seen that one.
I watched that video before I slept, and I said, no, I shouldn't have watched this video. It was that traumatizing, and our condolences again to the families who've lost loved ones, and people are still counting their losses. Yesterday, I actually saw a coach card of Kwame Jantua, our own Kwame Jantua, who comes in here, and he was saying that he had lost everything.
Oh.
Yes, yes. So he said he had lost everything. So, yeah, we're sorry about what has happened. And a lot of businesses have also lost
Yes,
a
I
lot.
saw one of a young fashion designer.
I was going to talk about that,
a young
in
fashion
Chado.
designer. Yeah, in Chado. I know, I have personal friends also
Yes.
who have been badly hit by this.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't even know what more to say. I mean, it's very sad. And then there was one video also that I saw where still from Chado,
Yes.
where the water was removing the cars from the compound of the house through the gate.
Look at that.
It was moving it one after the other. One after the other.
Look at that.
It was, and there was another one too. That's the cars, some are turned upside down in the place. I also saw that of Reggie Rockstone's place as well. Not the place here at Cantonment, says his home. I don't know where it's located, but
Okay.
I saw in the comment section people were suggesting it was
Yeah.
Chado as well. And there was a car on his compound, a sedan that had was the front was pointing downwards and the back was up in the
Obviously,
sky.
because of
It's
the-
a story building. It was upstairs.
Yeah.
The whole area, sitting area, completely filled up. So they had
Yeah.
all taken refuge above
Yeah.
at the top, and then it left me with a lot of worry and
Yeah.
very disturbing.
And you know, National Peace Council also had the place completely, all the offices and machines destroyed.
Here in Accra.
Here in Accra, there are new office at Roman Ridge. And I mean, this is already an organization that is struggling financially, the National Peace Council. So if you watch that, we actually did the story. You probably want to step in to help them as well. But a lot of people need help because of what happened.
Yes, and then I mean, I had my own share of experience when I was driving, because I was driving to work. Monday, I had a court hearing at the law court complex. So I was trying to get in, and I mean, I keep saying to myself that, and my lesson from the incident on Monday is, if there's any day that it's raining and I'm moving, I'll just stay indoors. I mean, that was my conclusion, because I at the time it had started raining around 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But at the time I woke up, it had stopped. Then when I started moving, it was just drizzling.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I mean, I have court anyway, so I just have to come to town still. And I just kept coming in. By the time I got to Jowlu, no, Dome first, Dome Pillar 2, the road was completely flooded.
Yeah.
I managed to go through it. I got to Jowlu and it was terrible. I got to Jowlu, a policeman told me that down there is flooded. I should use the left side. I used the left side, it was flooded. I came back, used the right side, it was flooded.
It was
then
flooded
I parked by the
everywhere.
roadside, and where I was parked was getting flooded all of a sudden. I saw way smaller cars passing by, so I decided to follow through. It was just dodging and moving, and it was just so crazy. And it was no surprise that the following day, the car had to go back to the mechanic. And because
your car?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it had to go back to the mechanic. I mean, it was scary, because everywhere I turned onto, the road was filled with water.
I mean, at the point when I was driving, it was so full. It just dawned on me that I was in the middle of a flooded street.
Yeah.
And then I was asking myself, should I go back or I should continue?
And you see, I hear people saying on social media that you have to stop, you don't move. I was saying that I stopped. I found a place that was completely dry. At Jowlu, where the Right to Information Commission offices. I parked there, it was completely dry.
Yeah.
Within some few minutes, it was getting filled up. So I moved.
Wow.
I moved. I mean, a lot of the times, we find it very easy to point out that that's the safest thing to do. You remember the June 3 disaster in 2015?
Yes.
A lot of the people who died had taken shelter at that filling station.
I mean, that was
they had
the
gone to take
saddest,
shelter at that filling station because they thought that was the safest place, dry place that they could. But they ended up dying. I mean, it's very unfortunate.
You know, the point you made about, and I think that was one of the major points coming in, especially from the Interior Ministry. And it was really commendable when the ministry said that don't move wherever you are. That was a Tuesday. If you found yourself in a safe place, just remain there. Because the June 3rd issue, I was actually in the office then at Joy. And I remember I was working on a documentary. It was a Wednesday.
Yes.
And the documentary was going the next morning. And so I left the office after 10 p.m. And I remember when I was going, the official cars, because of the rain and some other stuff, so I had to take a taxi. It was flooded everywhere. There was a point that the flood waters nearly swept my taxi away going home. I didn't know how serious it was until I got back the next morning to do the 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And that was when I realized that apparently from 1 a.m., we had actually done the breaking news about what had happened and all of that, and I came to meet it around 4 a.m. the next morning, and so it's always advisable that you find yourself in a safe place when it's raining. But yes, it's a lot.
That's one issue that would engage our attention this morning. We'll talk about the flooding situation. Government has released some 350 million from the contingency fund to provide some relief. We'll talk a bit about that and look at the next steps in terms of what should be done. There's also a disturbing Galamsey story from the Adansia Sokoa constituency agenda 111 hospital project. They are basically mining around the projects, the structures that have already been built and that threat. This hospital that we understand is not operational. So it's one thing that we are going to look at a bit later on. But in terms of this morning's segment, we can begin our conversation. Faisal Idris will be joining us, our correspondent in the Volta region, because there's some story that we can tell you right about now about vegetable farmers in the Anloga district of the Volta region are in despair as floodwaters have taken over their farms. Several hectares of onion and shallot beds have been submerged as farmers who cultivate lands along the Keta Lagoon battle the increasing water levels due to the recent rains.
Farms in Tegbi, Achubo, and many others along the Keta Lagoon have not been spared the devastating floods that have ravaged communities in the Angloga district in the last few days. Thousands of onion and shallot beds have been submerged in the flood waters, forcing an early harvest. I'm forced to harvest the shallots at this point because of the floods. I planted in May, and so I should be harvesting at the end of July. Now, in this situation, I can't even sell them because they are not mature. To recover their investment, as others lament, the rising water levels will affect the production cycle.
And you're still here on Newday on TV3. Welcome to This Morning segment. And you just watched that report from our Volta regional correspondent, Faisal Abdul Idrisu, telling us of the devastation that onion and shallot farmers would have had to deal with because of the recent rains, their farmlands inundated. And Faisal joins us on the line now. He joins us by video call. Faisal, good morning to you, if you can hear us. Thank you for joining us.
To yourself and my brother, Mike Council.
And you visited the farms. We just saw a little bit of what you captured. Just tell us really how massive this destruction is of the various farms that you visited earlier.
Yeah, the destructions are along the Keta Lagoon, particularly on the farms are a bit, it's to the extreme. If you look at Keta, Angloga areas, most of the farms that produce vegetables such as onion, shallot, pepper, tomatoes, garden egg, among others, all these farms lie just along the Keta Lagoon. And for this period, because of the increasing levels of water in the lagoon, the reality is that these farms, more than 90% of them are not accessible at the moment because the floodwaters have taken over the farms. The heartbreaking part of it is the fact that a large number of the beds, shallot, onion, which the farmers told me the season actually started in May. So some of them planted very early in May, and we're expecting that at the end of this very month of July, they will be able to harvest. Some said they planted just a few weeks back, but the situation on the farms now means that they would have to forcefully harvest the shallot. And at this stage, because they are not mature, they won't be able to sell them. What that means is that some are leaving the vegetables on the beds to rot. Others are taking steps to just, harvest them at this very stage. And in the end, they are going to make huge losses on their investment.
So you're telling us, that's very devastating. You're telling us that they were actually supposed to harvest this month, and unfortunately, the rains have come in
at the very end of the month, and we are just in the first week of July. If you look at the footages, you realize that those who are even harvesting, the shallots looks very small. They are not something that you can use at this stage because they are just not mature.
Tell us the sizes of these farms and to what extent the damage in terms of financial cost you anticipate could go.
Yes, so some of these farmers tell you they have at least 100 beds. Some say they have 20 plots. Plots in the sense that if they talk about plot, 20 plots for some of them should be around 5 acres, 10 acres. Some tell you that their beds are numbering 200. And then the investment ranges from the inputs, including fertilizer, inputs including other agrochemicals, inputs including labor costs. And so if you put all of this together, a woman was telling me that she spent close to 10,000 on just 20 plus. Another man was also mentioning yesterday that they are not able to tell you exactly how much they have spent because the farming season is still ongoing. But already he has spent over 30,000 on his pets. And so if you look at these numbers and put all these figures together, we are definitely running into thousands of Ghana cedis. But of course, the reality is that apart from the floods, there has been issues of gluts over time. So people from last season are still dealing with onion gluts. And because they were not able to sell, they have had to go and borrow and take credit from banks, sometimes from persons that can just support them with some 10,000, with some 20,000 to just begin the season. Unfortunately, this is where they find themselves. And so the loss definitely is hitting hard, and it's going to be difficult for them to recover from this very situation on the farms.
Indeed, that's like double agony, not having people to buy your produce and eventually the produce getting destroyed even before you could harvest to try and make some money to deal with the first challenge there. But if you can tell us, is this the first time farmers in such area are experiencing such a situation anytime it rains?
Not at all. I mean, this issue of flood is something that happens once in a while. But this year, they tell you that the level of devastation is to the extreme. In fact, some communities that we visited on Wednesday told us that they have lived with the flood since March. But because it's an annual ritual for them, they thought that the water levels would have receded early, then they can proceed with their farming activities. Except that the rains keep coming, and now things are getting out of hand. Most of the communities that lie along the Ketala tells you that the reason why their homes and farms are flooded is because the water levels in the lagoon has actually, it's increasing on a daily basis. And that is where the conversation around the opening of the flood control gate comes in, because they feel that once that is done, it should essentially take away the flood waters from their farms. So yes, floods are a common thing, so to speak, particularly for those who are along the Keta Lagoon. But this year's situation is a bit terrifying.
Do you know what the district assembly plans of doing for these farmers, at least to relieve their pain a little bit?
Well, the assembly officials and NADMO are still gathering a lot of data. As of yesterday, NADMO officials in Keta said they had done an extensive impact assessment on the communities affected, including farmers. They are also looking at how much of investment people are losing. As to whether there would be some form of support for them, they are not able to tell me. I spoke with the DC who told me that they are still engaging the Regional Coordinating Council and also those at the national level to see how best they are going to approach the issue of the impact on the individual affected persons. And so we are still waiting to see if there will be a package for them. Mind you, when we talk about the glut, those who lost so much money at the end of last season, they have still since not received any kind of support. And so basically, they are in despair. They don't know what or when help comes and where it will be coming from.
Now, aside from the farms which have been destroyed, what about the homes of these individuals? Even, I believe, some of the farmers as well, in terms of the impact of the rains?
Yeah, in the main Angloga township, largely not much of effect is on the homes. But when you descend further to the Komeshima areas, that is Fiaho, Alakle, you get to Agobledopi, you go to areas like Jita, you go to areas like Kagwi, Blamazado, among others. These are communities that are actually submerged. You cannot have access to a single home. But when you come to the main Angloga township, it is the farms that are suffering because the farms actually are lying very low. They are very close just by the lagoon. So the effect on the farms is felt much more in Angloga, but on households is the communities that I've just mentioned. And in the Angloga district, as of yesterday, there were 53 communities, 53 communities that we are told are actually devastated from the people that have been affected. I mentioned in my earlier report that 50 houses collapsed because they are not able to withstand the long floods. And so basically, this is the level of damage that has been caused to the Angloga district. And that's why we say it's the hardest as far as this conversation of floods in these areas are concerned.
Indeed. And my last question to you, what is the situation this morning?
This morning, the only positive news is that the district head, I mean the MC for Keta, the district chief executive for Angloga, and then MC for Keta South, in their last meeting, have agreed that the Keta Lagoon flood control gate be open. And the agreement is that today, the floodgate at Haveji will be open. Once that is done and the sandbar between the sea and the lagoon is cut, the excess water from the lagoon would go or flow into the sea. And the expectation is that the farms will begin to see lesser water by the close of the day. And it's a positive news because since last night, people in Keta, people in Angloga are celebrating this news. And the hope is that that is done today and we begin to see some level of reduction as far as the floodwaters are concerned. We'll be monitoring that carefully today to see how things look like going forward, particularly from tomorrow.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, he's our water regional correspondent, bring us an update on the Angloga flooding, particularly regarding farms in that part of the country, and that's the Volta region. And we've still been updating you on what the weather looks like and how you should be preparing if you're stepping out of your home or wherever you're going to, just so that you're not caught unawares. Let's watch this video coming from the Ghana Meteorological Agency.
Thank you for staying with us here on New Day on TV3. It's time to bring you the very latest forecast from the Ghana Meteo Agency. And it's a forecast. I mean, yesterday I've seen a lot of jokes and comments on social media making the point that there had been a forecast that was going to rain yesterday. It didn't. And a lot of you are making all sorts of comments on it. I mean, it's a forecast, so it's a prediction. It's exactly what it is based on the available data. And that is what has been released this morning as well. And I would want us to pay attention to a couple of things here. So first will be what do we have in the brackets here, the percentages. You will see rain over there, then you will see a percentage attached to it as well. That is the probability of occurrence, the likelihood of it occurring. So that is what you have there. The TSRA is thunderstorm with rain as well. So that also has the percentages also in the bracket there. So first, a bit of a summary just to put it all in context. It indicates that places within Upper West, Upper East, Northeast, Savannah, and the northern regions are expected to experience thunderstorms of varying intensities due to developments of thunder and rain-bearing clouds that are engulfing the northern sector. However, there is an active rainstorm observed over Nigeria, which is expected to propagate westwards to affect portions of the north and transition belts later in the day. Southern Ghana is anticipated to experience intermittent slight rain or drizzle in the early hours of the morning and thunderstorms of varying intensities during the afternoon and evening hours. In fact, that is already occurring. Just when we're switching from the other side of the studio to this side, when I stepped out, there was a bit of drizzling that was taking place just about now. And just a look at some of the areas that we are talking about. So Aflao, SLT rain, that's slight rain. That's what it means, slight rain. And you go over to the other side in terms of the evening and the probabilities that we are looking at. So it's just 40% there. The likelihood of it raining is 40%. With regards to the afternoon, the thunderstorm with rain is also 40% as well. So you can see it for the other areas. This information that is being published on our online portal is also available on the Ghana Meteo Agency pages as well, the X handle. You'll find this actually forecast also put out there. So you see the areas, Kaswa. So basically, most of the areas, Aflao and Loga, Accra, Kaswa, Winneba, Cape Coast, all the way to Axim, you see that the probability of the slight rain occurring is just within the 40% range. Whereas for the afternoon as well, it's also within that range. It's the mist with cloud that sometimes goes within the 60% range in areas like Koforidua, Achimota, Kwewu, Tafo, Kumasi, and those areas. There are some areas that have basically a lesser likelihood, and we don't. Some of them even don't have any likelihood of rains at all, like Tamale, just likely to have the mist and the cloudy there. Will be mostly cloudy in those areas. Tamale, Bole, Damongo, Bogatanga, Nalerugu, Wa will be thunderstorm with rain, probability at 60%. Also Jarapa as well as 60%. But with the other areas will mainly be mostly cloudy. That is for Tamale, Yendi, Bole, Damongo, Bogatanga as well. So this information is available on the Meteo's handles, and it's a forecast. It's a forecast. That is what it is. This is what they are seeing in terms of the data so far. So you can all take note of it, and it's very important that we keep tracking the Meteo's updates that they keep providing, just to keep all of us guided accordingly. Beatrice.
Yes, and a number of you have already sent in your messages regarding what we've spoken about since opening the show. And this is coming from Mr. Stephen Penwa in the Upper West region. And okay, so he's here to send in the message, but he's just saying hello. There's also Mr. Simon Yenwa, who says, good morning, Akable and Beatrice. It saddens me that no lessons are learned from the flooding situation in Accra. Come to Wa and see the number of new buildings and fuel stations springing up in waterways like nobody's business. I wonder what the Assembly is up to. These developers raise building foundations, pushing all the runoff water into low-lying areas and buildings. This is from Fakaki, also in Wa, in the Upper West region, says, one major cause of the recent flooding is indiscriminate waste disposal. But questions must also be asked about how public funds meant to address Ghana's sanitation problems were used. Former Sanitation and Water Resources Minister Cecilia Dapa should be held accountable for the management of funds, including World Bank support intended to improve sanitation. Sherry Giovanni says, good morning, Beatrice and Akable. He says, it's so sad and frustrating to see people's toils and sweat being destroyed in a day before their own eyes, where they can't do anything to salvage their properties and investments. For lawyer Kwame Jantua, my heart goes out to him. Such a fine and gentleman. May God come through for them. Good morning to Miss Miriam Oga UEW, I think. Yes, so thank you very much for your messages. And you know, yesterday somebody was also saying that she nearly didn't let the child go to school because she felt it was going to rain heavily, and was asking why Meet You did not give us accurate reporting. But it's good that you had to clarify that.
Yes, I mean, it's a forecast. It's
yes.
a predictive model.
Yes.
They are basically saying what they are going to say based on what they are seeing.
Yes.
So it's not cast in stone. And a lot of the times, if you look at the percentages, and that's very important. Even the weather apps that we have on our phones, if you just open the weather app and check it, you always see a percentage, the probability of it happening also on the side. So it's not automatic that once they've put out that it's likely to rain, it's going to rain. And so it's important that they put that out so that we are guided. It just it influences your clothing choice, sometimes the footwear, sometimes if you are someone who has multiple cars and you are driving out, it will tell you that
which
you should use the SUV or you should use the other one. It's almost no. Please, I beg you. Amen to that, by the way. But yes, I mean, those are the things that we use to guide what we put on and all of that. If you need to grab your jacket and get it along the way, if you need to pick the umbrella, those of you who like carry the umbrella, you know my views on
you
umbrella.
You have an issue with carrying umbrellas.
yes. I have an issue with umbrellas, but yes, if you want to carry an umbrella, all of that. So all those are analysis that you can do once you have this data, and that is how it's important that we keep on having it.
But I think the phone lines are activated, and so you can call in, share your experience with us. It's okay, so we're not able to open phone lines, but remember that you can always spec up your day the Milky Way with the rich, smooth taste of peck milk shortcake. It is just pure delight, and we always say find any grocery shop around you and get one for yourself and your loved ones, especially those who need help right now because all the things are destroyed. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you the big issue handled by Joseph Akable and some more.
You left something out. You've not told me who you are wearing today.
Oh, it is Chic by Siba in East Legon. Yes, in Accra on the Bauleshi Road.
I see.
Again, it's time to make that move. It's time for a cold Malta Guinness. When the mind, body, and Malta Guinness unite, nothing is beyond your reach. Vim up your daily pursuit with the revitalizing taste of Malta Guinness. Packed with B vitamins, charge forward towards your goals with each up of its nourishing natural goodness, now with a new look. Remember to always look out for the proudly made in Ghana symbol on every bottle of Malta Guinness can and Malta Guinness We Move. Yeah, so Joe, I was saying that my costume is coming from Chic by Siba in East Legon. Where is yours coming from?
Oh, it's coming from Fugu Factory still. Fugu Factory. They styled me last week, actually, the one that I had the cap.
Yes, I loved it.
This one also came with a cap, but I wanted you to see my new haircut, so I didn't put on the cap.
Okay, I appreciate it. I've seen it.
You see this, so I can wear it now.
Yes, you can wear it now.
So this is by Fugu Factory. Thank you very much for the outfit. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Big Issue. Our analysts, our regulars are already in. Ebo Backman is at the other side. I've seen Kwame Jantua, whom we're talking about this morning a short while ago. He'll tell us a bit more. He's at the other side. They will join us quite shortly for the discussion to begin. Stay tuned in. Thank you for staying with us here on New Day on TV3. It's time for the big issue, and we'll start off our conversation this morning by looking at the issue surrounding the flood situation. Like we did indicate during the this morning segment, the government has announced some 350 million has been released. We'll ask questions about what the next steps should be. But I want to share some stats with you as we have it now. And I'll share the stats with you shortly, and I'll let us watch a video clip from 1995. But before we do that, let me introduce you to my guest in the studio this morning. The first is, he said Naba from somewhere. I don't know which area he's the Naba from. I think he should be from Bogatanga. Senior, good morning. Abraham Maleba is here with us, Director General, National Road Safety Authority. Senior, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's the problem with your description of me?
I was trying to identify properly because initially when I saw you, your hat, if I can call it that, it was pointing upwards. It's now on your left side, on my right side.
But the viewers didn't see that. What they've seen is what I'm wearing now.
I'm telling them what I saw.
When it was up straight, it meant that I've gone for a chieftaincy title, but I've not actually gone for a chieftaincy title.
Okay.
If it is at the back, means I have followers. You get it?
And if it's on the side,
if on the side, you are just an ordinary person in the society. So, and this humility as well. But if it's in the front, it means you are a warrior, and you can be tested because warriors will test each other to know who is more powerful.
But the ABI, I know that you're always a warrior. You're from Bolga, right?
Yes, I'm from the Upper East region, from Kologo.
Kologo.
Yeah, in the Upper East region.
I see. Last week you couldn't join us. Thank you for.
I was watching the program from. No, I had gone last week. I had gone actually for a working visit to the Northern region and to the Upper East region on road safety matters. So whilst there, I saw my colleagues on the program. Yeah.
I see. Also joining us in the studio is Kwame Jantua. Kwame Jantua is a member of the Convention People's Party. He's a legal practitioner as well, and we made reference to him during the This Morning segment that he had been affected by the flood as well, and on behalf of the team here, we are very sorry about that situation there. I mean, it's a very difficult time for all Ghanaians. A lot of people have been affected by the flood situation. Sometimes it's not just about what happens at their home, even people are moving around, and a bit later when I share the stats with you, you see how things are looking as well. Senior, welcome and sorry about the flood situation.
Yeah, at least I still have a roof over my head. Yeah. Some people living in kiosks all washed away. Some woman, her house, her dream home house. I was listening to Joy News yesterday. Her dream home house, gone. So I thank God. And remember, these things are material.
Yeah.
They're material. So as difficult as it is, the one thing that really hurts me is my books. My books are all gone. That one hurts me because it's taking time to collect all these books and all this material. But hey, it's life. I said to myself, what if I died? Even my things there, somebody would take it over and just sell it. So we live on. But we have to create a situation where we solve this problem. You can't go on for 66 years and still the same old thing. Something has to change somewhere.
Absolutely. Also joining us in the studio this morning, Ebo Bachman. Ebo Bachman is with UP as well, regular on the Friday belt. Ebo, good morning. In his Ghana jersey supporting the Black Stars, who will later be in action. Actually, tomorrow is 1:30 a.m., so it will be tomorrow. We'll be in action against Colombia. Thank you for supporting the senior national soccer team. Thank you for joining us.
It is today, tomorrow.
It's today, tomorrow. Eh?
We'll start it today and finish tomorrow.
I see.
Yes.
All right. What I want to do.
do you start it today?
No, we'll go to where we're going to watch. Begin with Argentina match, then Ghana match.
I see. So you're doing soccer from 6 p.m. all the way to sometime around 3 a.m. When the game will end. Okay. So what I want to do now is to share a bit of statistics with you, the updated numbers. So you remember on Monday we had a bit of numbers coming through from the Interior Ministry, also from NADMO as well. The updated figures that we got from NADMO yesterday on Ghana Tonight indicates that the death toll currently stands at 34 lives have been lost to this unfortunate incident that occurred on Monday. Central region leads the number of deaths. 18 deaths were recorded in the central region. 18 lives were lost in the central region. In the Greater Accra region, 12 deaths were recorded here, and 4 were recorded in the Volta region as well. And what the various agencies have been trying to do over the period is that they try to identify the bodies that are retrieved and match it against individuals who have been reported missing, just to make sure that everyone is accounted for properly. And so we've lost 34 individuals so far. Very, very unfortunate, very disturbing situation that we find ourselves in. And I always make reference to some of the very individuals that we know, some of the giants that we know in industry, how one individual wakes up one day, sets up business, and see the number of people that he employs. Imagine 34 lives have been lost, lives that potentially we've not even unraveled. We have no idea of the full potential, what those lives will become. They've been taken off. These are family heads. These are people who provide for others. These are people who people rely on. These are people pursuing their dreams. And some of the situation that the deaths occurred, very disturbing. Some were in the cars. They were trapped. There were those who were trying to save property. They were trapped in it. There were those who were basically in their homes and lost their lives. And it's a very disturbing story. And what makes it a bit more worrying is the fact that it is not something that is happening for the first time. It's not something that is happening for the first time. It's a familiar refrain. And anytime we have the discussion about the floods, I always make the point that I have seen newspaper clippings. I mean, I remember back in the day at Legon, the African Studies Department, they have the old newspapers there. You see the papers from the 1960s of Nkrumah going around and inspecting flood-affected areas. There's this a video that I saw on social media being put out by Ghana Facts and History. It's a video from 1995. You remember when the president spoke a couple of days back, he had made reference to the last time we had recorded significant rains, and he said 1995, and we've heard GMET also make reference to it as well. So there's a video from 1995. We'll try and, it may be a bit disturbing, we'll try and make it so that you can at least see what exactly is being shown. It basically captures Chairman Rawlings going around and inspecting flood-affected areas. And watch what is happening on your screen now. You'll see the similarity that is happening now. So let's watch the video.
You want me to talk anything on it? You want me to talk anything on it?
on the surface of the water. And whole loaves of bread that could be estimated at
This was 31 years ago, and if you've seen the videos from Monday, you'd see the very same sequence. In fact, the last video that you saw of the boat, the military boat being taken out and placed on the water and gone to bring people, we saw it play out on Monday all over the place. We've also seen the videos of people moving their cars around. We also saw, in fact, there were disturbing parts of the video that we kept from you. There were bodies that were actually being retrieved from the water. We kept those parts of the video away from you for obvious reasons. And so that is a very disturbing story. And 31 years on, we see it playing out once again. And questions are being asked on what could be done to deal with the situation. I mean, last night, there's a post that was put out by the Minister for Government Communications indicating that there are some changes that the government is making in terms of the leadership. There's a flat program that they intend to be rolling out, and a military officer will be leading that. I'm going to share details of that with you quite shortly here. So the minister says Brigadier General Foster Okai Yeboah, Director General Joint Operations for the Ghana Armed Forces, has been tapped to lead an uncompromising, robust and all-action flood mitigation exercise. And he's supposed to address the media this morning at 11 a.m. on the operations of his team and steps being undertaken to deal decisively and protect Ghanaians from further flooding. And so we expect that news conference to take place at 11 a.m. We'll bring you updates from that event as well. Joining us in the studio for the discussion this morning from the New Patriotic Party, National Communications Team member Ellen Ama Derko. Good morning. I got the surname correct, Derko. Thank you for joining us this morning. Right, so we can begin the conversation right about now, and I want to start off with senior across me, Abraham Maliba Senior, first off. And I mean, just maybe from the last announcement bit, the government indicating that there's a bit of a change. They are tapping into the expertise from the military. Joint Operations Director General for Joint Operations is supposed to lead an all-action flood mitigation exercise. And looking back at all that has played out this week, the numbers that we know, 34 lives are being lost and everything. I mean, is it fair for us to, in the midst of wanting to be sensitive and wanting to have the nationalistic conversation, to nonetheless ask questions about leadership, about whether we were adequately prepared for the rains this period, and whether we are even responding appropriately to it, Senior?
Good morning to your viewers. Let me say that this flood that we are really under did not only hit Ghana. It's a West African coastal area issue. This flood hit cities along the coast of West Africa. Abidjan was flooded, Lagos was flooded, Abidjan, Lagos, Togo, Lomé was also flooded. So what I don't know is either is Cotonou, whether Cotonou was also flooded. But the Atlantic coast, along the coast, cities along that coast were all flooded. And in Ghana, I'm sure you know, Volta region, some parts of Volta region were also flooded. Now, when you look at the amount of water that hit the West African sub-region, because we are all in the rainy season now, 174 millimeters of water. That is huge. So the point is this was bound to happen. I'm not going to take viewers down the lane of the situation of Accra, or where Accra is situated. We all know that it's a low-lying area. But could this have been mitigated? Not stopped. You can't stop it. Nobody, once again, no government could have stopped the flooding with the amount of rain that poured on the earth. But can you mitigate it? The answer is yes. what you are hearing about the change in the leadership of the anti-flood program is what we call post-flooding measures. So how do we now ensure that in future we don't bear the consequences as we are bearing today? That is the response with that committee. So that committee is now to work and look into the future. We need to understand that in this country, partisan politics, and I'm not talking about politics. Politics is what we eat and sleep every day. But when it becomes partisan politics has affected institutions to work properly. When I say institutions, I'm not talking about organizations. In public administration, when we say institution, we're talking about the laws, we're talking about the rules, we're talking about the regulations. The institutions are there. We have the NADMOs, but what is affecting NADMO or what is affecting the district assemblies from effectively implementing the laws? That is where we should look at. And that is where I say partisan politics. We are not bereft with organizations. And when Obama came here, he said that we need strong institutions. People thought he was talking about organizations. No. Organizations are what are called. Ministry of Health is an organization. Ministry of Education is an organization. But those are not the institutions. The institutions are the laws, even though the organizations can be part of the institutions. So why is it that we are unable, as a country, to implement our laws? And we have all manner of laws that deal with sanitation in this country. Okay? There's also a sense of entitlement where political apparatchiks and political party members begin to think that once their party is in power, they can benefit from wrongdoing. You know? So you have a situation where somebody will think that because the NDC is in power, I can build on a waterway. Because MPP is in power, I can build on a waterway. But I ask the question, did you vote that party into power to come and do the right things or to come and do the wrong things? You know, so it is important that this money that has been released to the NADMO, is that it?
Yes.
Yes. This amount that has been released to NADMO, we look at it from two ways. To deal with the immediate needs of the people, and now immediately, what do people need? Clean water. What do people need? Temporary shelter. What do people need? They need sanitation or sanitary kits. So you deal with their immediate needs, and I don't want to hear what I heard previously, where if you don't belong to a political party, the resources that are being voted you will not benefit from. Let's do this thing devoid of politics. Let's do this devoid of characterizing some people to belong to one political party so they will not benefit. Going forward, we need to look at the structural causes of the flooding in this country, particularly the capital city. The structural causes are matters relating to the silting of drains, particularly what they call storm drains. The structural causes are pulling down structures along the waterways. And if we are able to do this, we can mitigate. And once again, no government, even in the advanced world, flooding do occur. No government can stop flooding. But what governments can do is to mitigate the impact of the flooding. If we do this, then we are in a better position to have the situation ameliorated. I also want to propose that let's have a map, if they don't have it already. Let's have a map of prone areas in Accra, or even the entire country if you want. Let's have a map. That map, what would it do? That map would help people who want to acquire lands inspect to see whether the land that is being sold to them is in a waterway or not. Most of the people who have built in waterways, some know, and yet they went and bought it. They are not the people I'm talking about. Most of the people who have built on waterways are people who have no idea about how the lands look like. So if we have a map of Accra, for instance, that shows that this area, this part, this area, this part is a waterway, it will help you and me. If we are going to purchase land, we can look at it and see whether we should go ahead or not. So I think that this relief that is coming, or that has been, the money that has been released, is a good one, and it should be targeted at all. Let's not politicize it. Let's not say that if you don't belong to this political party, you will not benefit, as it happened in the past.
Is it fair to say that in some instances, business interests have influenced political action? And I ask this because over the period, in fact, there are areas where we've seen major companies building in a clear wetland, and sometimes we've seen state agencies fighting them, but they've gone ahead and they've built it. We've seen homes that have been built in areas that they had to redemarcate it. In fact, as part of my research, I've seen publications. There's an area here in Accra, a very popular area. It was one of the most flooded around this period. There's an entire estate there. The area had to be redemarcated. It used to be supposed to be a mangrove wetland area, redemarcated completely to now make it a residential area for it to be built there. And you talk about the fact that we can only mitigate it, but that is some sort of state-sponsored participation in creating a problem.
That's the indiscipline I was talking about. And what I meant by that is that people use their influence, either in government or connected to government, to circumvent the rules. Now, the district assemblies, by so doing, you weaken them, because if a district assembly is insisting that the right thing should be done, but you have a political appointee or a businessman who is connected to a political appointee talking to the assembly to ask to allow that building to take place, in that regard, you are weakening the district assemblies. You are weakening the authorities to do that. But I'm not also oblivious of the fact that there is this notion at the district assemblies that they are able to engineer the running of the water and redirect the water. So they will tell you that, oh, our engineers can help you to redirect the water and leave your building. That's a fallacy. Because the last time I was here talking about the flooding, I said time without number that water has its place of abode. It has its place of abode. Just as how we all have our abodes. Animals have their abodes in the forest. Water too has its place of abode, and that's why you call wetlands. If you go and encroach on that wetland, I am telling you, water will come back with vengeance. So what we are seeing is the vengeance of water coming back to take its place. So any engineer who says that we can engineer the water, you cannot engineer water, movement of water, to an extent that that place will not flood. And so it's a two-way affair. The assemblies themselves have also compromised by maybe telling the people that we'll sell this land, or the owners of the land will sell the land and go to the assembly and say, let's engineer the water. Then also, I have told you about political partisan. I'm insisting on partisan politics, which has also weakened state institutions. And I'm sure that moving forward, I heard the president talk about the assemblies and NADMO mapping out, zoning the areas of flood and making sure that we remove those infrastructure. I hope and pray that when this starts, we will not begin to hear politicians who will go and start politicizing the whole issue. Because when the rains come and the floods come, they know no NDC, they know no MPP or CPP or UP.
Okay. Let me come to Ellen now. And Ellen, the first question, generally, what do you make of what has been playing out since Monday? And secondly, what the responses of government and the state agencies have been? Would you say that they have been satisfactory?
Good morning to our viewers. And my condolences to the families that have lost their members and people who have lost property, people who have lost money, buildings. It's not an easy situation. Yesterday I heard Mr. Jantua saying that he's left with one shoe. And you might find it funny, but it is not. When you wake up and there's water in your house. And that is the situation some of our citizens woke up to on Monday morning. They were in their home, they went to sleep Sunday night, comfortable in their beds, and they woke up and they were floating. Some had to take drastic measures to get them out of their houses. There are some videos I saw where a man's house had been flooded to the chest level and he was holding a baby and trying to get the baby to some people who were on the roof. And I can imagine what he had to go through to get out of the house to that space with a baby. And the baby didn't look more than 3 months. That is terrible. And then there was also the situation of a young man who said he had lost his wife, who had just given birth. The flood just carried her away. There was also another story of a woman who said 4 of her children had gone missing. These are the stories we woke up to on Monday morning. So it's been a heavy week from Monday till now. And we're still dealing with it. Bodies are still being recovered and being found. Bodies are washing up to our shores. And so far you said 30.
34.
34. I don't have much. I think we'll find more bodies.
In fact, the NADMO have told us that they think
yes,
will be more.
There'll be more bodies. So we are not in normal times, and it's really, really terrible. You did ask whether I found the government's response adequate. Adequate, no. But there have been actions and inactions that I think the government could have done better. The first of it is why our president decided to fly around. And that is the only thing he has done for me, visibly. There's nothing wrong with flying around. But after you have flown around, you should get on the ground. Why hasn't he stepped out to meet anybody? The families, we are all in Accra. This thing happened in Accra. He's in Accra. I haven't heard he's traveled. He's here. He hasn't bothered to see any of the grieving families. He hasn't bothered to visit any of the areas. Nothing. And then the next day we find him wearing white with Madame Lodina and the vice president waving white handkerchief, praising and celebrating. So the question he asks is, what are they celebrating? What exactly are they celebrating?
Is it fair to describe it as a celebration or a national
If you have planned a national Thanksgiving service and a disaster has happened a day before the national Thanksgiving service, we cannot postpone it. We can't do that. August 8th will be exactly a year. We also woke up to another disaster. A helicopter had crashed with our ministers in it, with Air Force men. This whole nation went on a closure. All of us decided to mourn the people who had died in the August 8th helicopter crash. All of us, everybody, businesses closed down. Are we trying to say that that was more of a national disaster than all of us waking up one morning and floods have washed away people? That is not a national disaster. We can go ahead and have a Thanksgiving service. We cannot hold it off. The Thanksgiving service was an emergency service. The Thanksgiving service was of such priority that we had to see our president and his vice president and his wife and government appointees in white. 30 people are dead. And that day they were doing the National Thanksgiving service, a teenage girl was pulled out of the Odo River. And the the NADMO workers refused to do it because they said they haven't been paid for a year. And we had to take a young man to get into the Odo River to get that body out. And he was also demanding for payment. That was the situation we're in. And our president and his wife were wearing white, celebrating. So we couldn't have put it off. No. We had to do that National Thanksgiving service. That is what I don't get. And up till today, no state of emergency declared. I don't see anything from the government, the citizens who have lost their lives, saying anything to them. Nothing. 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 So that's why I'm coming for. You do not do that. This is a national, the Thanksgiving service was a national event organized by government. Government could have said, I won't do it. I'll postpone it. I have an emergency. The government doesn't look like it's bothered. The president doesn't look like he's bothered at all. Because today is Friday. How many days after the flood? 4-5 days after the flood. He's still sitting in the Jubilee House. He hasn't stepped out. And then he decides to fly because he doesn't want to get his toes and his shoes and his legs wet. After the flying, he still haven't stepped out. The vice president is also comfortably sitting at her house. She also hasn't stepped out. And expecting her to be a mother. I'm expecting her to actually feel the pain. She doesn't feel it. And this is the presidency we have. So if you come and tell us that you have released 350 million to NADMO, how fast have you released it? Are they going to be jumping through the hoops of bureaucracy just to get this money? We are 4 or 5 days into this flood, post-flood matters. People need help. Has the money already hit NADMO accounts? Can they withdraw? Can they get it? That is what we are looking for. We don't need the announcement. But the announcement should be the money is in NADMO accounts. They have already started procurement. In fact, today, things are going out. That is what we want to hear. You don't come and tell us that you have reconstituted the committee. That committee was set up a year ago. What have they been doing the whole year? And the Meteo people told them, in fact, they told all of us, the Ghana, Meteo, they told all of us that this year's rains were going to be terrible, heavy. You set up this committee, you put a deputy chief of staff as the head, the chairman, to control 2 cabinet ministers. Nothing was done. 4 days after the flood, you come and tell us that you have changed and you have put a military man there. You are making the military man's work difficult because he's coming to inherit a situation that is in a mess. And this is a total mess. The response has been a mess. So I don't see anything good that they have done. I am still asking, and I'm still wondering how our president and his vice have not stepped out of the Jubilee House to go where they are right here in Accra. The people are not in Bolga, they are here. They haven't stepped out to any of the areas. None of them. We are celebrating. We are wearing white. That's what we are doing.
To the extent that we have seen our presidents, at least from the 60s, step out and solidarize with the people and the problems still occurring. And that's my question to you, Elena.
So because the president hasn't stepped out, the problems will not occur. So he's staying indoors. He's staying in the Jubilee House. The problem is solved.
No, that's not what I'm saying. If I can ask my question, right. I'm saying that should we not be looking out for sustainable solutions that prevent that from happening, as against wanting to see our leaders moving around like you're asking, which we've seen them doing all over the period, but the problem still happens?
I've been asking. So because from the 60s, when the president stepped out, nothing gets done in your estimation. So our president, our current one, should stay indoors. And he's staying indoors. Of what benefit has it been to us? The management is still terrible. The optics are bad. If you're a president who says you care, like he says he cares, he should step out. You don't stay indoors. So don't ask me that the other presidents since the 60s have been stepping out and the problem is still there. So our current president should stay indoors like he's an Amaria.
No, that wasn't
4
the
days
question.
after
I mean,
the problem, 4 or 5 days after the problem. And you're asking me how that solves the problem.
Whether we would prefer solutions that will...
What solution have they preferred in the past 4 days? What has it done? Apart from announcing to us that Nadmo is getting money. And where is the money?
Okay. Let me come to you as well, Ebo. I don't know where you stand on this subject matter of the flooding situation and what the governments have been doing in terms of the response so far. Ellen believes that the optics are not looking good. She's not impressed with the government's response as well. You share that position?
Yeah, probably we appreciate optics in this country. So politicians also know how to offer it. Something happens, you see them giving speeches, you see them appearing on the scene, and nothing is done. And that it has become part of the game. So politicians, when something happens, they will begin to show emotions. That's when they begin to care, if you like, quote and unquote, care for the people. But when they are in power, and they are dipping their fingers and their hands and their nose into our coffers to loot our resources for themselves and their families, they don't care about the people. They don't care about them. It's only when the people get problems that they go and pretend they care. So it's not about the optics. Ghana is 69 years. I've done some mathematics here. 69 minus 35 is equal to 34, which means 2 political parties have had 35 years out of the 69. And so if you have this problem, and what we are seeing is blame game between these 2 political parties, then we have a problem as a country. And that is worrying. But this is my first time talking about this issue because since Monday, I've not gone to any television or radio stations to talk about this. And I've been following the conversation. Unfortunately, how it has been politicized, it shows how insensitive some people can be. People have lost their investment, lifetime investments. People have lost their family members. People have lost their property. I mean, life from Monday to today, life has become unbearable for a lot of people. People have lost their jobs. And all that politicians are doing after 35 years, sharing power alternatively, is to play the blame game, usual blame game, and be giving us the optics. You see, yesterday's solution is supposed to solve today's problem. And today's solution is supposed to solve tomorrow's problem. So if somebody had been there before, and we are still having this problem, the question is, what kind of solution did you provide yesterday that today we are having this problem? That is why I don't expect any of the 2 political parties to play politics with this. We are sick and tired of this blame game. Whatever they did to solve this problem in the past, the result is what we have. Whatever was done since the beginning of Ghana, we've been exposed. Except that, you see, we've been having low, if like, level of rainfall over the years. This big one has exposed. Anytime you have big one, we get exposed. Anyone who has ever eaten a CD from monies that were meant to solve some of this problem, they must bow their heads in shame. Any politician who has eaten money or chopped money that was meant to solve problems like this should bow their heads in shame. Sick and tired of politicians giving us speeches and optics. Sick and tired. You see, the relief is necessary, but prevention is cheaper, is always cheaper. Prevention is always cheaper. We have institutions that are supposed to help us to solve problems. You have engineers in this country. You have politicians in this country. Before somebody will buy a land to build, the person would have to go to Lands Commission. EPA must come in. Assembly, the building inspectorate of the assembly must come in. So if you see a building along waterway or in a waterway, the question is, how did it get there? Who are those who are in charge, who are supposed to prevent it from being there? They allow people to spend so much to put up these burdens. And after that, we go and break them. And the worst is even after we've broken them, we brought them down, we go away, forgetting that the problem is not a burden. The problem was the failing that was done before the burden. The failing that was done for them to have space to put the burden on, the foundation. We don't excavate the foundation. We don't dig a hole. We leave it. We don't restore the place to its original state. We leave it, thinking that by bringing down the burden, we've solved the problem. So in fact, we've brought so many burdens down. Go to all those retention ponds. The problem is still there. You spend money to do storm drains, only for the water to tell us that your storm drains are not enough. They don't have the capacity to contain us. So we need proper re-engineering in this country. Our engineers were trained to solve problems, not to explain problems. We want to see our engineers, hydro engineers, civil engineers. We need to see, they should see, this morning, honestly speaking, it shouldn't have been the time for politicians like us. It should have been the time for the engineers to come and tell us how to solve this problem. Because most often the time, you put the politicians ahead to solve our problems, and we end up getting more problems. This morning, we should have had engineers on this table to tell us the way forward. How do we solve this problem? Not politicians who will be playing politics, playing the usual political football because I want to have an advantage. Because people have died, people have lost investment. So let me take advantage of it. Show empathy and sympathy, artificial, fake empathy and sympathy. It won't take us anywhere. Storm drains. We need storm drains. Proper ones. You see, I'm from Cape Coast. I lived my life from when I was born to secondary school level. It's only when I came to Legon and came to stay in Accra, went back and came back. I had never seen flood in Cape Coast. I had never seen flood. So when I heard there was a flood in Cape Coast, UCC, all the places, I said to myself, this year rain is going to cause serious havoc. Because for Cape Coast to flood, like the way it did, lo and behold, Accra, we had our situation in Accra. So, issue of deserting, creating, you see, naturally we have retention ponds. Nature has given us retention ponds. I think it's about time we also create retention ponds in this country. Ponds, we need them so that they can contain the water. I'm told we have this, the lawyers will tell me, we have laws in this country that say that if you are building a house, the compound should not be paved or should not be covered or something like that. You have to leave 50% of the compound uncovered, so that when it rains, the rain can permeate or penetrate the soil into the ground. But because most of the houses, they are either tiled or they put concrete on it, the moment it rains straight, who is in charge, who is to make sure that that burden, whatever regulation or whatever is adhered to? Who is in charge of that? Engineers. Engineers. We send you, some of you have even gotten scholarships to go and study engineering. Please, your duty is to solve problems, not to explain problems to our politicians. We give you our power, our resources, everything, so that you lead us well, so that you help us prevent some of these things from happening. Please, if you look at the cases that have come up, the corruption cases that have come up, the amount of money involved, and the way we have wasted money in this country, and the fact that you went to the World Bank to take 350 million to come and solve this problem. Are we a serious people? You went to the World Bank to take a loan of $350 million to come and solve this problem. When you yourself, you've wasted money in this country. You could waste $97 million to create a hole. Then you go to the World Bank to take $350 million. Are we all right? Look at the money involved. The money you've wasted in this country. The money people have looted in this country. And after that, when these things come, instead of them to even provide alternative solutions, they'll be playing games with us. Politics as usual. I think Ghanaians have not been angry enough towards politicians. And I believe that moving forward, if politicians don't take care, they will live to regret it.
Let me come to Mr. Jantua now. And in the course of this whole discussion on flooding, there's one agency that I'm sure a lot of you will be surprised it even exists. It's called the Ghana Hydrological Authority. It was set up in 2022 when Parliament passed the Ghana Hydrological Authority Act 2022. The Act number is 1085, Act 1085. The long title of the law is an act to establish the Ghana Hydrological Authority to regulate the delivery of hydrological services for planning, design, execution, operation, and maintenance of flood control mechanisms, works related to coastal engineering, sewage, drainage improvement, river development, operational and applied hydrology, and to provide for related matters. In fact, when you go to the objects, one of the objects is under Section 2 of the law, flood control mechanisms. Basically, that's what they exist to do. They exist to promote and regulate flood control mechanisms, coastal engineering and drainage improvements and all of that. So I was curious about whether it's actually been set up. Yes, it's been set up. They actually there's a website that's available. If you go online, you see it. There's a whole management team. There's a CEO. They are deputy directors. I see engineers all over splashed on it. I mean, in all of this, I've not seen or heard from them with regards to what is being done exactly. But I mean, Senior, once again, we have very good laws. We set up all the nice institutions, but we keep getting the same results over the period.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Akable, listening to all my panel members, I'm not Thomaso. I'm not Thomaso. And you know why? When you see the force of water coming at you, the force of water breaking your door, and you standing trying to hold the door so that the water doesn't come in, but the water forces to come in, you ask yourself, who is here to help Ghanaians? On Monday morning, around 9 o'clock, when the force of water was coming, it had reached window level, and it was coming, and it broke my porch door. And there I was standing, trying to hold it so that water wouldn't seep through. It wouldn't even give me the chance. It was like an armed robber coming to your house and forcing to want to break your door and come in. That experience, nobody should go through it. Nobody should go through that experience. The force of water and the anger of water is something nobody should go through. And then the water starts coming in, and then you're helpless. You can do absolutely nothing and you see the water now getting into your rooms. And then it settles, and you see the level. And all you can do is wade through. All you can do is wade through. You cannot collect, you cannot talk to it, you cannot, but it settles. It's an experience nobody should go through. And if you haven't gone through it, you would not understand its intensity and its impact. It took me 7 hours to clear the water out of my sitting room. Bedroom hadn't. When we finally cleared everything, the silt and the mud. And the silt and the mud you saw on the tiles, but in the doors, the nitty-gritties in the doors, in the corners, the sockets, electricity, man, no. Nobody should go through it. You need to be strong to be able to withstand the impact of that. And AB was talking about structural causes. Do we not know in Accra the land is flat? Do we not know? And if it's flat, that means it's below sea level, isn't it so? There are countries that are below sea level. They've done something about it. They have done something about it. What about us? What about us? Look, I don't want a situation where we feel this thing is a political situation. No. It's not a political situation. It's a national issue that needs collective decisions. Collective decisions together. Not a political party in power, but together. Because in this Fourth Republic, don't even let me use the Fourth Republic, in this our tenure of democracy, from Kwame Nkrumah's time till today, we've been flooding. True? For the last 66 years, we've been flooding. What have we done about it? Come and go, come and go. And what I was expecting, I wasn't expecting throwing money behind the situation. I was expecting the question to be asked, what is the plan of recovery? How do we recover from this? I haven't heard it. I have not heard what is the plan of recovery. Me, I have said, President Mahama should be ruthless. He should be ruthless. All those who have been given the responsibility to make sure that waterways are not blocked, to make sure that gutters, everything is in place, and they haven't done their work, give them their marching orders. Give them their marching orders. And it doesn't care whether it's a big man, whether it's a small man, whether it's a rich man, if they have built a property in a way that would stop water, rainy season, anything that would distract the flow of water in this country, break it down and take them to court. And if they have to go to prison, they go to prison. And unfortunately, the laws we have are not working. They need to be enforced. And the president can use the laws to challenge anybody who is doing that kind of thing. And we've got to use the laws. We've got to put the partisanship thing aside. President Kufuor, did you not experience flooding? President Kufuor, did you not experience flooding? President Mahama, has he not experienced flooding? President Rawlings, did you not experience flooding? President Mills, did you not experience flooding? What are the existing presidents who are still alive doing about this? Ghanaians need to see unity in a national situation like this. Unity. And that unity starts from the top. It doesn't start from the bottom. It starts from the top. And I expect Comrade President Mahama to call those people who handle this country in terms of decision making, in terms of those we go to when there are challenges to solve problems. Come, sit, let's solve this problem once and for all. Let's solve this problem once and for all. And if it calls, and you think because of partisanship, you will not come and sit around the table, then we know who is for this country and who isn't for this country. We cannot go through this particular situation again. What happened June 4th? It was June 4th, right?
June 3.
June 3.
Yeah.
What happened? Have we learned from it? Can you imagine if ECG did not turn the lights off? Can you imagine this particular disaster with fire? And when the water was coming into my house, and it was coming, you know one thing that came to mind? I asked myself, so if unfortunately during this storm we have an earthquake, what happens? What happens? And this is where we should be able to look at flooding, to look at earthquake situation, and start educating Ghanaians as to what should be done when we are faced with it. It doesn't look as if we're doing that. Now, I'm going to talk about a pertinent issue that happened years ago, which is affecting us today. You're Ghana, are you?
No.
Who is Ghana around the table?
No, sure.
Huh? I want to ask the question.
If you speak Ghana, I'll be lost. So.
I want to ask the question. Maybe Amma will be able to tell me. Why did the guy's name Jolu Jolu?
It's a big river.
What is the meaning of Jolu?
Big river.
A big cup.
Huge.
Huge.
Container.
That does what? Contains water. They named it for a particular reason. They named it because at the time, we were getting water from where? Ebri coming in. And there were areas where the water settled, right? Where were these areas? Shiashi. Around President Kufuor's house and around where? Those tall buildings. And those were areas that did what? Took the water from the mountains in. What have we done to those areas? President Kufuor's house used to flood. President Kufuor's house used to flood. What have we done to those areas? Have we not sold those areas and filled it and built houses? All those years, who did we sell it to? Who did we sell it to? Wasn't it Straconi? Didn't we sell it to him?
In fact, he's been tweeting and explaining
and
the engineering he says they did around that place.
What kind of engineering? Let me tell you the effect today. When the water now comes from Ebri, and because we have cut most of the trees down in that area, the water isn't held by vegetation there anymore. So you're getting more water coming in. When the water now hits that area, you know where it goes to? You know where it diverts to? Shangri-La. And that entire area gets flooded and creates mayhem on the road. Are we saying that some people are above the law in this country? Something that affects everybody. Are we saying that? Because that water that will come from the Ebri, it would hit Nima, Alajo, those areas, get into the Odo, straight into the sea. So we sit and we blame, and we clap, and we cry, and we do X, Y, Z. Whose responsibility is it? Local government, have they worked? Don't stop me. Local government, have they worked? district assemblies AB was referring to, are they working? Or is it that they are starved with money? The finances aren't there. Is that what it is? Because, Akable, something has to change. Our children's children cannot go through this. Something has to change. This should be the stepping stone for us to say, no more. We are not going through this anymore. Let me go to the 350,000 that has been given.
50 million cedis.
50 million have been given. What's the duty of that money? The duty of that money is aimed at providing immediate assistance to victims, 1. 2, investing in measures to reduce the impact of future flooding. 200 million has been earmarked for emergency humanitarian assistance to flood victims and affected communities. 150 million has been allocated for flood mitigation projects designed to reduce the frequency and severity of flooding across vulnerable communities. Who is responsible to make sure that this happens? How are we going to disburse the money? Because what I don't want to hear, 6 months down the line, we are setting up a commission to investigate the 350 million because it wasn't used well. I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear that. And if the president, in his wisdom, has put 350 million up front, what's the plan next? But let me also ask, we are all equal in this country, aren't we? Aren't we all equal in this country? What happened in 2023? What happened in 2023? Was there not an Akosombo spillage? Weren't people flooded out? Have we paid them? Have we found money for them? Yes, we found money for Accra quickly. What about the Akosombo spillage victims? What's happening to them? Are they not part and parcel of this country? So I thought, when I heard the president say that, I thought it would encompass all flood victims at least, because they have suffered also. So I would suggest to the president and Minister of Finance, if you've been able to do this, please, please, try as much as possible to satisfy the Akosombo spillage victims, because they have also suffered and they are also Ghanaians.
Yeah. Okay. Seen any reactions?
Yes. Destructive politics. I think that Ghanaians are not rather angry enough at destructive politics and not politicians. Once politics is there, politicians will be there. But destructive politicians, Ghanaians are not angry against destructive politicians. Why am I saying this? The president, in his attempt to access and view the extent of damage, went on a helicopter ride. How else could you have assessed the damage in the city, caused the city? You have to go on a helicopter ride to see the damage. Do we know whether that didn't inform the amount of money voted for the damage for the NADMO? Probably the finance minister will say, I want to give 150 million. Then the president will say, no. What I saw flying over Accra, let's do it 350 million. How else? But when a person is hit by this type of calamity, the person is not looking for you to come around visiting him. In fact, when you come around visiting him, you are rather looking at his nakedness. The person wants you to provide relief items, relief to his pain. And immediately the president landed on the ground, didn't he vote this money for the people to get some relief? When Akufo-Addo, similar issues happened, Akufo-Addo went out, gamboling and gallivanting around, and hopping like a grasshopper.
Have you seen that? I mean, those descriptions.
No.
I mean, they don't add anything.
When they said that President Mahama was sleeping in the room like an Amaria, I didn't see you react.
Okay.
So I mean, continue to have your peace.
I have my peace, but
keep quiet.
Senior, I'm coming. Senior, just
when I started this program,
I'm coming.
Did you see my submission?
I heard you.
Devoid
I heard you.
Of politics.
I heard you. I mean, but
when I started, and there's nobody who is political than me. But on this occasion, I started to be nationalistic.
I appreciate that. Let me just make a little point. Let me just make a little point so that you go. And I mean, I think, if things have slipped through, that's fine. It's fair that you raise that concern. But I would just ask that, subsequently, like how we do every Friday, you have the chance to make your points. Let's just keep it as tidy as we can, respectfully. You can go ahead, Senior.
Because when you hail insults, we can all insult. And for insults, nobody learn them. You listen and you also take them and start insulting. You know?
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Oh, no. Me, I've told you this, my policy on this program is you do me, I do you. But you normally see that I don't start. Have you noticed that everything about me, I don't start wrongdoing? It is, I reply, but I also understand, I agree. When I'm replying, it's too heavy that they even forget what they did to me. I know, after that one, I know. Now, in the past, when such visits were done, didn't we hear them say that Odona will be turned into a tourist attraction? Where are we today? But is it not curious also for Ghanaians to begin to ask questions? That a year after we discovered huge sums of money under the bed of the sanitation minister, we are being visited by floods. Was that money meant to deal with the problem? I'm asking questions. Me, I'm asking questions. This was not money found under the bed of the Minister of Education or the Minister of Tourism, the sanitation minister. It's public knowledge. The question is, can that be linked to money that was meant for the project? Because Ebo was talking about corruption. I don't know. But who says that you only give thanks and praises when times are good? Here is me reading the Bible. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 18 states, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ's name. What is this verse trying to say? The verse encourages believers to maintain an attitude of gratitude, trusting God's overarching goodness and presence even during difficult times, rather than only when life is easy. Only when life is easy. So, has the president assessed the situation? Yes. Has the president voted money? Yes. There's nothing wrong if this thanksgiving goes on. Because the Bible tells us you don't only give thanks to God when life is easy, but even in times of difficulty.
Okay. Ellen, any reaction to an issue?
Madam Cecilia, the past matter has been settled in this country. We put her through vigorous exercise to prove whether she's guilty. According to the OSP, she has been able to prove where the money comes from. If anybody in government thinks that her money is linked to flood money, it is your responsibility as a government who thinks that her money is your money that she has stolen to send her to court and get your money. You do not go around and make noise about it. That when there's a flood, then you go and blame a former minister in the previous administration whose money she has been able to explain, and she's taking her money back. So if you think that she's done something wrong, I'll be a lawyer. Get the Attorney General to send her to court. You do not wait for a flood to hit, such a devastating flood to hit, and then you come and mention Madam Cecilia Dapa's name. I find it very, very disingenuous and lazy on the part of anybody in this government to open their mouth and say that Madam Cecilia Dapa has taken your flood money. If I were her, I will sue you. Because we have all put her through what she's gone through, and she's been able to prove that the money is hers. The OSP said the money is hers. He's returned her money to her. Until you do that, you don't go around saying that. Auntie Sisi would forgive you. If it were me, Ellen, I'll sue you. Because this is defamation of character. That's one. Number two, well, if you decide that your people are in trouble, problems have hit them, sudden problems, a flood, people have been killed, people have lost their property, and you decide to wear white and go and throw a handkerchief and celebrate. After throwing the handkerchief and celebrating, you decide to stay indoors and not step out. And at least go see those people. And we are saying it, we are complaining about it, and you are telling us that it is right and it is good. Ghanaians are watching. And the Ghanaians who are complaining, and we did tell them that President Mahama does not really care about them. His agenda was to get his second term, which he has gotten. Anything else, I see him as somebody who thinks that I'm just waiting for my 2 years to be over and I'm gone. Anything that will get his hands dirty, anything that will get him tired, anything, he is not prepared to do it. And it is showing. It's not just him, it has descended to his appointees. And that is what we are seeing. Yes, so you flew around Accra. Yes, so you've had your Thanksgiving. What stops you from at least stepping out and letting the people see you? Yes, it will not change the circumstance because something has happened, but at least it gives them the benefit. When we went through COVID, and President Akufo-Addo showed up with the updates, showed up with what we are going to do, at least it gave us a sense of look, this thing we are trying to solve it. Our leader is involved. You might not like him, you might not agree with him, but that thing he did kept us through those times. So President Mahama decides that he wants to stay indoors. That's his choice, and it's up to the rest of us to bring it out. I will still want to commiserate with the people who have lost things. Look, we can speak, we can talk, we can shout, we can do whatever we want to do. People have lost their family members. We are still discovering bodies. People have lost property. At least there's a victim here. And when he tells you his experience he went through, we do not want that again. So this whole committee that they put in place, we've had a military man. Are we still keeping the old members of the other committee, or they've reconstituted it? And in all this, you're on the part of the politicians. What about our civil servants? I have said this and I'll repeat it again. Politicians, maximum 8 years. Politicians, maximum 8 years. They move on and other politicians take over. We have civil servants who have been around, some from their early 20s, and they are going to be around till they hit 60 years. You mentioned an agency.
Hydrological Authority.
It's supposed to be filled with civil servants, engineers, people who have the professions. What have they done since they were set up? It's been now 2022 till now. That's about 4 years. And how are we linking the linkages between these agencies, NADMO, whichever, the military? What is the linkages? So right now they are there. Money has been voted for them. It's an agency. We pay their salaries. What exactly are they doing? How are they involved in this mix? Or they are just there. They are doing their thing. Because it's the Ghana Hydrological Authority. They are supposed to be in charge of everything water, everything flood. And if you hadn't mentioned it, I never knew there was an agency like that. What are they also doing? So as much as you're pulling the politicians, as much as yes, we'll do our politics, we should still ask our civil servants, our public servants, who we pay and we take care of that, what are they also doing? Because I believe that all of us coming together with what will solve this problem. The water is still going to come down. The Ghana Meteo says that we still have more water ahead. going forward, what are we doing? Or we are just sitting just like that for the emergency to come and hit us again? What are we doing? Are we desilting we need to know what we are doing. That is one. Number two, what are we also doing in educating our people about the effects of these floods? You know, the FDA have just come out to tell us that some of the products and items that have been affected by flood water is being put back on the market again. Are we educating our people on what to do? I would suggest that perhaps we should all go back to our COVID protocols, where we washed our hands, we made sure that we had our sanitizers around and all that. And I'll plead with the Ministry of Education. I know that they have the educational calendar. If these rains are still going to come down, as Ghana Meteo says they are going to come down, can we go on a little vacation with our young people, especially those in the basic schools, so that they don't have to also go through the processes of going to school? Because on Monday, some of the victims of these floods were children who were on their way to school. A lot of us had to stop our children from going to school. There were school buses. There was a rumor that the school bus, all those things. If it's possible, can we also look at maybe pulling the vacation time a bit forward? And let's look at all those things. Mitigation the oncoming floods, because we know that they are going to come. What are the processes? We need to get into that. Otherwise, we'll go back and come here again if we are alive and we haven't been swept away by the floods, and we'll come back to discuss this matter again. What are we doing moving forward? The next immediate steps, what are they?
Mr. Danso, any reaction? Or if not, I have a question for you. Your reaction first, go on.
Are we prepared to vote money to build the kind of storm drains that can collect water? Are we prepared? Why? Go back and look at what Japan did when Japan used to flood Osaka. Most of the cities there used to flood. Go see what they did. They built underground drainage and tied it to those flood areas. And so when it floods, water is just sucked in. And that water that is sucked in, they even reprocess it. I'm not saying areas in Japan don't get flooded, but most of those areas have been saved by what they did. Are we prepared to do that? The only way we can be prepared to do that is if we plan. I am saying, and unfortunately, we did not do exploration to production in the oil industry for 8 years. So revenue that came in was limited. If our offshore basin, look at the map of the offshore basin and see the number of acreages that are empty, right from where we are producing, all through the different areas, Accra Basin, Sopon Basin, Keta Basin, all those areas, free. We would get, you see, the thing about the oil industry is that when the money comes, it comes like the rain we had. It comes, boom, and we could have used a certain percentage to do what? To continuously make sure we are effecting good drainage systems towards the rainy season. I would suggest we have oil. Right now we have gold. Cocoa is a bit down, but yes, we have. Let's take a certain percentage of those revenues towards what? Rainy season. Dredging should go on every year, throughout the year. Not only Accra, everywhere. Because we are realizing that the weather is getting worse each day. Go to Europe today. Go to UK today. Go and feel the heat that is there. That is their summer. This is our winter, rainy season. Two extremes. It goes to show things are going to get worse. And for me, Akable, what I'm praying for, what I'm praying for is that we are able, fire service, national ambulance, these people that you mentioned, you said they are what?
Ghana Hydrological Authority.
And their responsibility is what?
Basically, in fact, one of their functions, and I when I was even reading it, I read the object One of the functions specifically is flood prevention. Under Section 3, provide hydrological and drainage engineering services for the prevention of floods, flood warning, and flood management.
Okay, so their responsibility is crucial to, if ever we have an earthquake. Do we know what we would do if we have an earthquake today? Do we know? Do we know? And did we foresee this kind of weather pattern? We did not foresee it. Or even, no. I mean, way back. Look, in Europe, they have forecasts running into 5 years. They have forecasts running to 5 years, and they start planning towards it. We've got to change our mindset and trajectory and start planning towards some of these things. And in government, it's perpetual succession. One government takes over from the other government. But if we have unity of thought and we have collective solutions and ideas, any government that takes over, what happens continues where the other one has been left, where the other one has left off with this particular situation. I can believe we can't go. Look, at my age now, I'm 68. You are what? 30 something. I will get to the bedroom and be sitting there, because when I look at my father, after everything, he was in the bedroom for nearly 15 years, absolutely not moving. We will all follow there as we grow older. But when you are getting to my age, you shouldn't be sitting talking about this, because there should have been solutions that have stopped all this kind of thing that we are going through today. It is not fair on the youth. It is not fair on your age. It's not fair on anybody for us to continue in this line. I've been on the media for 26 years. Akable, the topics, they just repeat the same thing. Repeat the same thing. Repeat the same thing. It's not fair. Something isn't connecting somewhere. Let's see what that connection is and change that connection. Because we cannot be inundated with water. Water that we need. Look, all this water, are we even harvesting it? The Japanese, with what they've done, they're harvesting the water. Are we harvesting the water that is coming? Answer your question. You said you wanted to ask me a question.
Yes, I mean, it's this whole... There are some who argue that we make a fetish around this waterway conversation, and a lot of the time they point to... Yeah, I'll come to you. I have time for you, don't worry. I have some 10 minutes, so I have time for you. They make reference to Netherlands, where basically, in fact, 26% of the lands in Netherlands are below sea level. 21% are below... About 26% is below sea level. Then another 50% is just 1 meter above sea level. In fact, much of these low-lying lands were actually reclaimed from the sea, lakes, and wetlands over the last 100 years. So they've been reclaiming the lands, building walls to hold back the water, just to get lands to build up. Is it not too... The world is so advanced that should we not get tired of saying that, yeah, it's water, we should pull down the building? Or it's because of... This is how our brilliance gets to, so we should do the simple things.
So what's the suggestion? I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to suggest.
I mean, the suggestion is that we should be looking at higher levels of engineering to solve the problem, as against simply pulling down buildings in water.
So let me ask the question: where are engineers?
They are around.
Is it for you who's a lawyer, or he is a lawyer, me a lawyer, or her, or him who's to come and sit down and think that way?
Okay.
I would have thought the engineers would take the forefront of this situation. Is it that they are not given the chance? Okay, within politicians, are there no engineers? Within parliament, are there no engineers? Within the opposition, are there no engineers? Should they not take the bull by the horns and say, guys, this is ours. Let's see how best we sort this problem out? But maybe the politicians don't give them the chance to also prove what they can do. Because what you say is right. Can't we change the mindset, and can't we change how? Some of these are buildings that are even designed. So I'll give you an example of West Legon. West Legon is clay. There's a lot of clay in West Legon. And if you build a house and the foundation isn't done properly, your house can shift. If we had policies where we say we know the kind of structure and soil consistency in certain areas, can't we say in this area, if you're going to build, especially if you're in a lower lying area in that particular place, you've got to build on stilts?
Okay.
Can't we say that?
All right.
And you know that the road that leads from when you get to Fiesta Royal and you cross over, do you know what happened to that road during the rains? It was completely destroyed.
It was completely flooded.
Completely destroyed. Where were the engineers then? Where? I'm not blaming the engineers. I've got a lot of engineer friends. But we need to give them the chance to come and change some of these things that are going on. Especially in the style of building. I don't understand why, and I think it was a Bo, I'm not sure whether it's a Bo or AB. I don't understand why people want to build a house and put tiles everywhere. It doesn't make sense to me. And that water that comes in has nowhere to go, but it flows into the road and into gutters. Why?
All right. Because you called out the engineers, my engineering colleagues they've sent me a document.
I think they've issued a statement.
Yes, they actually issued. So that's what they've sent to me right now. They actually issued it on 30th June 2026. It's called, they call it a position statement, Engineering Solutions for Transforming Urban Stormwater Management in Ghana. And it follows the 29th June 2026 flood in Accra. It's a detailed document. We'll put it out on the online portal so that you can all have a look at it.
And who's supposed to make sure that what they've suggested?
Exactly. Because a lot of the things are things that government needs to do.
Exactly.
Maybe when the boy is done, I can share a bit of it with you.
And there are engineers in government who should take it up. There are engineers in parliament who should take it up and say, our engineers have proposed this. Let's see how best we can implement.
All right. Ebo, you have the final word.
Yeah, so I really...
Send me a copy, please.
Yes, let me just...
Yes, as much as possible, I would want to let Ghanaians know that we shouldn't allow politicians to always take advantage of our situations. The reason why the MPP is emphasizing the president wearing white dancing, is that they had their candidate to go to visit 2 or 3 places, get some video and pictures, and they are splashing it all over the place that he was on the ground, he was dirty on the ground, and the president was dancing.
Are you now defending the president?
You see, let me say this. No, I'm a Christian.
If you decide, to bring in my candidate, Dr. Bawumia, I'll reply. The president's rep is here.
You've had your time.
Then you don't mention Dr. Bawumia's name and try and put him in a bad light. I will not agree. Dr. Bawumia did what he felt he had to do as a former leader of this country and as a person. Please don't bring him in the bad light. Make your statement. Thou shalt not bring in Dr. Bawumia, who is sitting here somewhere, in a bad light. I will not agree.
So we are tired of the optics, you see.
If you are tired, please state that. Don't bring in Dr. Bawumia's name.
Any proper Christian,
I think we should allow Ebo.
Any proper Christian who understands spirituality would appreciate what the president did. Let me tell you this. If you read the book of 2 Samuel 12:20, David's son was very sick. David was fasting and praying. And when he was told the son had died, the Bible says David rose up, put on his garment, anointed himself, and went to the house of the Lord to worship. A man who had lost the son. So we take cue from the fathers of our faith. And so anyone who understands the Christian faith will appreciate what the president did. If the president had not done a Thanksgiving, it would have been double jeopardy. Because, I have planned to have a Thanksgiving service, and we are hate. Who was the president thanking? Was it not God? Are you getting it? So you wanted God, the president say, God, I suspend it. No, it would have been double jeopardy. And I'm saying that we take cue from the Bible. So as a Christian, the president did what was right. I would have done the same thing if I were the president. Because by thanking God wouldn't change anything, like wouldn't make the case worse. At least, maybe God would have mercy on us moving forward as a nation. Because sometimes thanking God can give you good results. So there was nothing wrong with that.
Something else is going to come.
There was nothing wrong with what the president did. So creating the impression that he was wearing white, somebody, Dr. Baumia was on the floor, on the ground, taking some true pictures and videos.
I have not
the optics.
Since I came here, I have not mentioned Dr. Baumia.
But you have mentioned President Mahama's name. You have mentioned President Mahama's name. You even said that President Mahama is Amalia or something.
Of himself. Is he here on behalf of the NDC?
You said the President Mahama was Amalia. You mentioned. You didn't just mention his name. You said the man was like Amalia sitting in the house.
Baumia, or is he here on behalf of himself, or is he on behalf of President? Let's do this. Is he here on behalf of President Mahama? If you bring in Dr. Baumia, you will not finish. Dr. Baumia did his work as somebody who felt he should step out. You decide to bring his name that he's taking pictures. So President Mahama was also sitting in the helicopter, flying around, taking pictures.
Let's allow. Let's allow him. So Shadrach.
No, but I'm not done.
Director, if you can just pick me so that I make something.
Wasn't he taking videos and pictures?
No, I'm not done.
Don't do that. You are here on behalf of...
No, I can play.
Okay, I'll come to you. So your microphones are all off. Your microphones are all off. Let's just proceed the way we've been proceeding so far. Let's proceed the way we are proceeding so far. And okay, so
I was on the floor.
I'll come back to you. I want everyone to become. Let's proceed the way we've been proceeding so far. We've all had our time. Everyone has had the time to say what they want to say and how they want to say it. And largely, I've allowed everyone to express themselves. Ebo, you have the final word. You are the one speaking. Conclude for me. All microphones are not active.
So the point I want to make, the president made a statement that as much as possible, we have to be new Ghanaians or something. I can't get the exact statement, but I think it's about newness of our attitude and all that. You see, after the World Cup, when Japan lost, do you know what they did? It's been something that they do at every World Cup. When they lose, they clean the whole stadium.
The players.
The supporters. Even when they have lost, they clean the whole stadium. Why do you think they do that? You see, we are all product of our education system and our parental upbringing. You see, Japan, people do that because from the very beginning of the education system, they are told to do that. They are told that wherever you go, leave the place better than you met it. So, hardly will you see a Japanese eating or drinking sachet water and throwing it away. It is part of the education system. I'm saying this to say that when you show the 94 one, from 94 to now it's about 32 years, right?
From 95 actually, so 31.
31 years. So whether we do something about it or we don't do something about it, another 30 years will come. How do we train those who are in class 1? Who are in class 2, who are in class 3? How do we train them to be different from us in terms of patriotism, cleanliness, being law-abiding and all? You see, let's tackle our education system and train our youth, our children, in the way we want it. Because I'm telling you, we have all failed. We are all product of our education system.
Okay.
We didn't get it right. We are suffering for it. Let's go back and start with the way we train our children so that when they grow, they know that I don't have to drink water and throw it away. I don't have to eat from takeaway pack and throw it away. I don't have to, when it's raining, I don't have to go and put the rubbish into the rain.
Okay.
You see, these are some of the things we need to do as a nation.
All right.
Just one thing.
Yes. 10 seconds.
Look, we cannot talk about anything where God is concerned. He's the ultimate. Irrespective of whatever we go through, we go back to Him, good or bad. Good or bad, God is the ultimate. And the way God works, we do not know.
Okay.
So if we feel that God is the one who can do what? Help with this situation, we need to praise His name.
All right. That's what time would allow us this morning. A lot of messages. I'll just read just about 3 or 4 of the messages so far. Kotoka Courage from Angloga Lashibi in the Volta region. You say that Ebo has made your day by hitting the nail on the head. The MPP should stop playing politics with everything. Are we not in this country? Former President Erdogan said to the people of the Volta region that if it was only about votes, he will not come there because he knew they did not vote for him. Okay, so you asked that NPP should give you a break. This one here from landlord Borga D-Line. You say that, so it's votes that Dr. Bawumia needs, that's why he's moving around. I can't remember him visiting any flood victims in his 8 years rule as vice president, be it on foot or air. It's only in Ghana that we make politics out of everything. Ralph, from Akuse, you say this. You say that the Thanksgiving held on 1st July prevented the rains the following day and even yesterday, which would have worsened the plight of the flood victims. So nobody should downplay it at all. We should use the energy to educate our citizens. And the final one here, Musa Abatu Asawase, you say that the release of the 350 million for flood relief by President Mahama and his economic management team deserves commendation. It reflects leadership that prioritizes the welfare of Ghanaians as well. My guests this morning on the Big Issue segment have been Ellen Ama Derko with the New Patriotic Party and the 3 Reverend ministers who have been telling us about Thessalonians, who have been preaching to us this morning. Ebo Bachman first to my right, Reverend Ebo Bachman with the United Party. Ebo Bachman join us this one as well.
You have said it right.
So, Reverend Kwame Jantua.
So we don't
as well.
praise God.
Only praise God when they are flat. Your time is down. It's my time now. Let me use my time. Let me use my time. Reverend Kwame Jantua also with the Convention Post Party lawyer as well, the senior. And Senior Maleba, Ibrahim Maleba, also Reverend as well. Reverend Naba. He's a sub-chief in the Bolga area. Came with his heart upright and moved it to the left side eventually.
God should punish those who only praise him when it is
big issue.
Big issue. And not praise him because there are difficulties. God should punish those people.
Okay. Big issue as always is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast, and whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through our dual MBA or chartered manager MBA, University Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in international relations, communication, international marketing, international law, security diplomacy, accounting, finance or human resource management, an LLM in international law, security diplomacy, or an MA in biblical studies, practical theology, the pathway is open. You can apply today because at University of Gold Coast, we make it practical, flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. You can study around your work and life and choose a route that fits your background and pay in convenient installments as well. Your dream deserves structure, your future deserves strategy, your purpose deserves training. You can apply now at www.ugc.edu.gh or you can call or WhatsApp us on 026-388-8555. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nations. We'll take a quick break. When we come back from the break, we are building up to that big game between Ghana and Colombia. Ghana is going to beat Colombia at 1:30 a.m. Tomorrow. So stay tuned. We'll build up to the game right after the break. We'll be right back.
anniversary. And yes, the search for the next queen of culture, beauty, and purpose is still on. Auditions for Ghana's Most Beautiful 2026 come to Kumasi on 8th July at Mecklin Hotel, Takoradi on 10th July at Westin Serene Hotel, and Accra on 12th July at the TV3 premises, just right here. Registration starts at 8 a.m. Interested applicants can register via the TV3 Reality app or pick up a form at the venue. Registration fee is 100 Ghana cedis. Now, the dress code is a GTP miniskirt with a white tank top. Make that move. You could be the one we are looking for. And Ghana's Most Beautiful 2026, celebrating 20 years of culture, beauty, and empowerment. But we are not ending it here. I did tell you that we're preparing towards this 20th anniversary. And guess what? I'm joined in the studio by actually, I can start with the name, Nane Kia Sante Afo, GMB second runner-up 2017. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning.
It's great to see you.
It's good to see you too.
And happy holiday to you.
Happy holiday.
Of course, I do have as well with us Naomi Abena Obing, who is GMB 2018 winner. Thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. You look amazing as well, both of you. And I was actually, when we're off record, I was just asking, what have you been doing? Because I don't see a lot of age on you. But yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Perhaps I can start with you, Abena. I mean, it's been 8 years since you won this. Tell us when you remember how you decided, okay, I think I want to take part in this. And eventually you ended up winning.
Yes, 8 years already, how time flies. I remember I was in my hostel with my friends and I decided to go audition for J&B, and of course they encouraged me. And funny enough, during that time the audition was delayed, so it happened late July instead of the early July. And my husband is watching this, sorry, but my ex-boyfriend then picked a form for me as a surprise for my birthday. And I filled this form 2 weeks before the audition day, and I could just put the drawer out and take a peek because I was just so anxious and I wanted to know what the future holds. And the D-Day came, I came to TV3 premises. That was my first time stepping foot here. And I was so nervous. I met other beautiful and confident ladies, and there are some who had already been here for like 2 or 3 times, and they were sharing their experiences when we were waiting to be called. And I was just inquisitive and anxious. I wanted to know what would happen when I just entered the audition room. But when I went there, it was Queen Emefa. She was a judge that time. I just smiled and she was like, you have an infectious smile. And that actually boosted my confidence. So I was questioned and I delivered. And I qualified for the next stage. And here we are today.
So when you say that what she said boosted your confidence, it means that at the time you were monitoring all that was going on, you felt your confidence level was not as those people who were performing? Is that how you felt?
I wouldn't say that. I'm a very confident young lady. But when they were sharing their experiences, they had been here 2 or 3 times. So I was just nervous. I wouldn't say my confidence came down. But then her comment actually raised the confidence to another level.
Nana, how was your experience?
So I have an entirely different experience from hers. When she was talking, she said that her friends encouraged her. For me, I didn't even know what was going on. But the year before, my cousin had come to audition, and I think she almost got to the final stage with Yaba. That was the year Yaba won, 2016. And then they picked Yaba over her. So the following year, which was 2017, she told me, oh, I think if you go for this thing, you'll be able to kill it. I'm like, what do they even ask? She says, oh, you just need to know current affairs, you need to know your region. And I didn't exactly stay in my region for a very long time. So I come from Sefi. What am I going to be saying? So on the D-Day, actually, she called me. She said, get up and go. I didn't even know what to read concerning current affairs and stuff. So I just came. I actually picked the forms at TV3 on the day of the audition. I didn't fill the form before. So I got here, I saw a lot of beautiful young women. So I isolated myself. Yeah, and I was just seated there waiting for them to call me. So one of the, I think, producers, Auntie Sheila, she called me and she said, "Oh, you're looking very beautiful. Come, let's do a video of you.
Oh,
what
wow.
region are you representing?" I said, "Western region." She said, "Okay, do a video and say, my name is so and so, and I'm representing Western region." I said, "But I haven't been auditioned." She said, "Yeah, just do it in case you are picked."
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay. So I did that. And then the auditions happened. I was very, very nervous. I don't even remember the first question they asked me, but at some point, I know someone asked me, what do I think is the greatest challenge of Nana Akufo-Addo, as part of my questions. And at that time, exactly, at that time, there was this ongoing
Because yours was in 2017.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was this ongoing campaign about Stop Galamsey Now.
Yes, yes, yes.
And at that time, I think the president had made a statement that he's willing to come down from the presidency in order to curb Galamsey.
Put
So I'm
his
like,
presidency on the
so
line.
then I think this is what the problem is. Then the next series of questions were all about Galamsey.
Oh, wow.
And then Western region. Then it went on. And then I think after that, we did the medicals. And they picked us. So I was just floating in there. So the day they mentioned the finals, I thought the other lady would be picked.
Yes.
So when they mentioned representing Western region, and I'm like, oh.
Well,
so if you look at my video,
yes.
I was like, oh. And I just went to
what went through your mind when
I was surprised. I'm like, because the other lady was pretty good. She was very intelligent, very confident. So when they mentioned me, I'm like, oh, I guess you are doing this. Then now I told my family. Because nobody knew.
Wow. And what about your friend
cousin.
who actually pushed you to do it?
I mean, she was happy for me. She knew, but nobody else knew.
So when you were finally picked, was she one of the first people you called to say that, well...
I think so. I don't even remember. I wasn't... Yeah, but then I informed my family that this is what's happening, I guess. We are here now.
And they supported you?
Yeah, they did.
So I'm coming back to you. After you were eventually confirmed, not as a winner, but to go through the journey, what suddenly was your focus?
You know, my only fear was me not being selected to represent my region. That was my only fear, because I knew who I was and I knew who I am. I knew that when I'm being selected, I would just give my ultimate best. And of course, I performed every day like it was the grand finale. I remember one colleague of mine, she was also a contestant, represented the Ashanti region. She was like, "You're always performing as if it's grand finale. When you're performing, there's fire in your eyes." And I wanted to be selected. That was my only fear, because I knew if I'm selected to represent the Eastern region, I will go for the gold.
And what would you say the journey was after, I mean, the first, you would say 2 phases? How would you say the journey was for you, the challenges?
During my GMB time,
yes,
the whole thing.
Yes.
I think when we were selected, we had to go for our photo shoots, music videos, and all that. And during that process, we were normally interviewed. And I was a type who wasn't always comfortable seeing a camera in front of me and being questioned.
Interviewed by TV3?
Yes. They were I think they were documenting the whole process and all that. So along the line, we were being interviewed, and I just didn't like it. I just become very timid when I see a camera in front of me. But I think I'm doing well.
But you wanted to be on stage, so that's,
you know, that's me. I'm a stage girl.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a performer. I'm a stage girl, but not. Although the camera is there, I would just assume it's not there because I'm on stage. But the moment the camera just sits right in front of me, I become very nervous, and I wasn't saying the exact words the producers were expecting me to say. And one of them was like, "Oh, you'll be the first person to go home."
Oh.
Because I couldn't do it. But then the first week, he saw me perform. He came back to the reality house and sat all the queens down and like, I just killed that show, and I think I won an award that night.
Wow,
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Still to you. How was your journey?
Okay.
The challenges,
so my
the high times as well.
Okay, so my journey started off very slow. I was kind of like the underdog. You never really see me, but I'm there. That was me in the house, always happy, making everyone laugh in the house. That was it. I would say that initially, because I didn't have the interest in going for the pageantry in the first place, because I always saw myself not as a pageant girl. I didn't take it serious. So when they gave us tasks, I would do it, but it wouldn't be up to par like the others. But I always made it through somehow. So during my 5th week, then I think one of the producers, KD, came to me and said, Auntie Linda says I should tell you that you are good, sit up. So you better sit up. I'm like, oh, people notice me. Then so from that time, I decided to put in a lot of effort. And I think I got star performer like 2 times and then most eloquent. So I started upping my game. And then when it was time for the finalist, I got selected. And then me to my time, the Ashanti region lady, she said, hey, Nana, why is I walk a final? Because they don't know how I did it. I was just there. If you asked anybody, any of the other contestants who your competitor was, I don't think anybody would have mentioned me. Because I was just that laid back person. But then eventually I made it to the finals. And I thought I was going to be the 4th, like the 3rd runner-up.
Yet you got 2nd runner-up.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be the 3rd runner-up because if I looked at the other ladies, I'm like, oh, they have a lot of votes, they have this, but when it comes to the competition in itself, that was that. But my journey with the ladies in the house, it was great. I don't think I had issues with anybody in the house. I'm a very happy-go person in the house, so that was pretty much it. I would say one of my highlights was the day that I did, I think that was week 6 or week 5, I'm not sure. There was a day that I acted as, we did a theme on marriages. So I chose extravagant marriage. And my designer didn't bring my wedding dress on time. So I had to borrow the dress of BA, Adum. She gave me her dress that she had. And then we put on the veil and I went on stage. So that day when I was going on stage, I was crying. And they were playing my montage and I wasn't done wearing my shoe and they were done and I had to go.
Wow.
So I entered the stage and I'm like, what do I do? So I removed the other shoe and then I acted barefooted. But because of how I went about it, people thought I was back home with my husband and I was undressing, but that was not the case at all. I wasn't done dressing.
Impression.
And that day I got star performer.
Oh, wow.
So that changed the whole trajectory
Look
for
at
me.
a mistake rather giving you better results.
Wow. All in all, I would say that I had a great experience. So.
All right. For you, I asked her again earlier about her highlights. What were your high points as well?
I think it was week 7 during GMB time. It was a debate night and we had for and against, and the topic was a woman's place is a home, otherwise she's falling foul of tradition. And so if you have to speak against or for the motion, I was against the motion. So I was paired with Rekia. She was from the Upper East region. And I killed the show. I remember during rehearsals, the producers, we didn't, for the first time, we're not rehearsing together because we didn't want each partner to know what you say. And I remember during my time, I had my script done on Tuesday and I finished memorizing everything by Wednesday. And so I was the only person who go to the rehearsals without any book, nothing. I'll just go and say it off head. And one producer was just looking at me and said, hey, you kill this your partner, you murder her. And God being so good, on the D-Day, I just executed my work. And I won the star performer for that night as well. I actually won star performer like 3 consecutive times. And I think I'm the first queen to ever achieve that, to win it back to back, yes.
Wow. So Nana was saying that in terms of her relationship with the team or the other contestants, she didn't have any issue. I know that this is also a competition. And as much as you're growing as sisters, I remember the last 2025 GMB, they talked about how they had grown to become sisters and all of that. There's also that element of competition and sometimes a bit of rivalry. How did you manage that? Did you have any instances of...
I think one thing that helped me was I was the youngest in the reality house and I saw all these beautiful queens as my role models. This is something I'm sure maybe they didn't know. When I realized that maybe Ohima, she was my first runner-up, is very outspoken, she's not a shy type. I would just like to adapt that. I just love, I took them all as my role models. I learned from them and they were my sisters. And I never saw anyone as my competitor. I'm not trying to be overly confident or anything, but I was just focused on what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Anytime we were going on stage, I remember I told the people I'm going to work with that let's just go on stage and have fun.
Yeah.
That was my everyday motto. I'm just going to have fun. And so Auntie Linda used to call me a showgirl.
Yeah. Was that the same mentality you had, that nobody was your competitor? Because I know that people who say that, well, I don't have a competitor, I compete with myself, I need to outperform what I do. Is that the same mentality you had, the reason you also didn't have any issues?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, there were competitors, all right, because at the end of the day, it's a competition. I just wasn't too enthused about it. I was very, whatever will happen. If it is meant to be, it will be. So when it's my time, I do what I have to and I go my way. I didn't exactly have personal issues with the ladies one-on-one. Like I said, I'm always smiling. Even if you are bringing problem, my face is like this. I didn't have an issue. Maybe certain few things, one or two with the chaperones and stuff that I wouldn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Those were the only things that I would say made the house a little uncomfortable. But they are normal stuff that you can get over.
Yeah.
But apart from that.
But again, you keep saying that you were like the underdog in the competition.
Yeah.
Would you say that if you had realized that you were actually in for serious business earlier, you could have won?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think if I had put in more effort. So the one thing was that anytime we had tasks, my script was always different from the others. The kind of stories and ideas I'll come up with, KD will always be like one of the producers. He would say, when you're done, you need to come and work with us because of some of the stagecraft ideas that I will have. My performances were always different from all of that. One of the ladies, I don't remember, this is Zainab, the one who won my time. She said, Nana, every time you do your rehearsals or when you go on stage, you go and say something entirely different because I don't do chill and pour.
Yeah.
I just understand what I'm going to do. I go on stage and everybody is, I don't see no one. I just do what I have to do and go my way. Whatever will happen, will happen. And that was just really me, how I moved through it,
And then it got to the final stage and you became the second runner-up. Tell us how the experience was on that day.
Oh, okay. So on that day, I think I was supposed to perform third. It was Zainab, Baba, and then I think me, and then Sewa was supposed to be the last person. So we were backstage, and then the producers came and they said, no, Nana, you're going last. You know how usually when they are arranging these things, they feel like the first and the last are the peak of the performances.
Okay.
So they came, they said, Nana, you're going last. I'm like,
A lot of pressure.
Are you sure? It's like, yeah. I said, okay. So it was my time. I went on stage, I did my thing. And then when I was done, this Inspector Bidiako, what's his name? Oscar Provençal.
Yes.
He was like, I think that night I got star performer for that night, but unfortunately I didn't win. He was like, I did really well. Initially when I started, it was shaky, but after that, and then I answered my questions too really well. And so that day, one thing I had in mind was like, I need my phone. So I want to finish all these things so that I can go and get my phone because I hadn't seen my phone.
Yeah.
So that day was a do or die for me. I said, you know what, I'm here. Yeah. We are finishing it today. At least by 1 a.m., everything will be over. So let me put in my all and finish this and then go home. So that was it for me. That was my mentality. Yeah. Whether I like it or not, tonight is going to happen. So you might as well put it all out there.
It's amazing she referred to Oscar as Inspector Bidiako. Anytime I wanted to remember his name, that's what I say, Inspector Bidiako. And then I tried to remember his original name. But you also, in 2018, ended up being crowned the winner for the event. How was it for you as well?
When you asked another question, my memories just kept rushing in. For the first time, TV3 gave us our script to perform on the grand finale, and it was quite lengthy, and I had issues trying to memorize it because that wasn't me. So I quite remember I told my supporting act that in case I make a mistake, it was just like me being seated and a camera there being questioned. So in case I make a mistake, just tell me. What's wrong with you? Let's start over. So I just gave them that idea before we went on stage. And funny enough, I don't know if I knew I would go and make mistakes on the stage. When I got there, I just forgot all my lines.
Oh, no.
I forgot everything. And so she remembered, Abna, what's wrong? Let's start over. So the people thought it was part of the craft.
Oh.
But I completely forgot everything. And so when she did that, and I just relaxed, and it came, and I just flowed and flowed and flowed. I actually rapped that night as well. So I think when Auntie Linda told me, "Hey, Abna, you're a show girl."
Wow.
It was such a nice experience. Yes, it was such a nice experience, and I knew all the other queens were equally good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I knew I was going to win, but I was just hoping I win.
Yeah.
And I psyched myself in a way that in case it doesn't go how I'm hoping, I don't get disappointed.
And then the announcement was made.
Yeah.
Immediately. What was in your mind?
God. I didn't even hear my name. I didn't hear my name. Abena and Ohima.
Yes.
The last, I just heard the last sound of the name.
Yes.
So I was just looking around like, who did they mention? And the girl just said congrats. And so that was when I knew I was the one who won. When I heard the name, I actually thought it was Ohima, not knowing it was
Abena.
Oh.
Wow.
And
congratulations.
And then you're here. So in case you didn't have the opportunity to watch what happened in 2018.
Oh my God.
Or you are not, 2017 actually, or you're not just remembering, want to remind you of exactly what happened. Watch this.
Jesus. What is going to happen?
The choices we make as people go ahead to define the kind of people that we are. So, a friend once asked me, Nana, imagine you're on a bus. The bus is full, all right, but one in Ghana made for bus na yema, so still, or feni no one seat ko paton. So, he picks up an old woman, a child, and a pregnant woman. Then she asks, you are hospitable, you are kind-hearted. You want to give up your seat for one of them. But who would you give up your seat for? All of them deserve your seat. Look at this old woman, a child, and a pregnant woman. So I throw my question to you. If it was you, who would you give your seat for? Anybody can talk. Anybody at all.
I actually wish we could show the reaction of Nana in studio right now. But Nana, tell us what's going through your mind, really.
No, so I'm thinking of all the performances you could have. Because I feel like
my worst performance.
This was one of the times I feel like I wasn't performing at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you were showing that, I'm like, oh my God, of all the performances you could have.
Okay, but we need to watch what also happened in 2017. Of course, when 2018 rather, when Abena eventually emerged as the winner of GMB.
Abena.
Da.
Now who going?
Oh, Madam for be doing a birthday party. Our castle.
Eh? What's it?
Madam for be doing a birthday party. Our castle.
Some my catch will say, "Me no, I know, mommy. Ye kwe ye."
Ah, Jumapo. Oh, die and then they me to menko.
Eh?
Oh, da menko.
Abena.
Da party man kwa enye yie.
Me no wa kan say, ese wo obusiafo. Wo nkofie. We no opportunity e betumi enya. Na wo de ko hu obusiafo no. Wo nkwa yie no.
We kwa me nim no. Da. Eye di anka mu mpanyifo mo dia. Na me akwala yi dem kwa.
Abena, wo ba kwa yie na say wo ba ko wo se wo kwan.
Party. Da me ko party.
Abena, me ma de no ma. So wuni. Who quay ye na answer who quay for canning tell me can hear what's it there?
Da ye ne dia menko.
Won quay ye no. Abna.
Da menko.
Won quay ye no. Won ko. Akwala na wo de. Won ko training a wo say aba. Won kwa.
Da.
Me ko.
Hey, into one quay, But I mean, what was going through your mind as well, watching that? Who catch your papa say one quay,
I don't remember I did this
at
this stage.
Yes. Yes, but anyway, let me get your final words because we are really working towards the 20th anniversary, and the number of young people. I mean, I just announced the auditions even before we started our conversation. A number of young people who think that they also have what it takes to represent their regions. What would you tell them based on your experiences and your own expectations as well?
Okay, you know, you might believe in yourself, but GMB is a whole different pageant. I always say it's one of the most prestigious pageants here in Ghana. And so although it's good to have confidence in yourself, but don't underestimate the power of preparation. I remember when I had the idea of coming to GMB, I started preparing the previous years. I started watching videos of auditions and every performances of every queen on YouTube because I wanted to know that I'm fully prepared. And God being so good, because I was fully prepared, it's always better to be prepared and not have the opportunity than to have the opportunity and not be prepared. Yes, so when I got here, it showed, like you could see that I was prepared and I was in for business. And so any young girl out there, please prepare yourself very well. And if you are thinking twice about it, don't take the bold step and come. You might be the next queen.
Your words.
Okay, so I think I would speak to the desire of the young women. If you have the desire to come and audition, I would say go for it because GMB is like a massive stepping stone to anything that you want to achieve. Even though I say that initially I was lackadaisical about coming, when I came, it has given me opportunities after. So I would say that if you are looking for that platform to elevate, Ghana's Most Beautiful is a very great step for you. So if you want to come, please go ahead.
Go ahead if you want to come. Nana Ekia Santiafol, GMB second runner-up 2017. Thank you very much for joining us. And also to you, Naomi Abena Obeng, GMB 2018 winner. Thank you for joining us. And for sharing your wonderful experiences with us. You're still here on your on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you your birthdays and some more. Do stay with us.
Most Beautiful is 20 years, and to kickstart the special anniversary season, you are warmly invited to an exclusive royal ball and fundraiser for a legacy project. An evening shared with our cherished partners, distinguished past queens, and the remarkable individuals who have shaped this journey over the years. Join us at 8 p.m. sharp on the 6th of June at the Adisa Pavilion within the prestigious Labadi Beach Hotel. Red carpet is live at 6 p.m. Come for the elegance, stay for the purpose, be part of the legacy. Ghana's Most Beautiful, 20 years of culture, grace and legacy. This event is strictly by invitation.
TV3 Newday. We want to help you celebrate your birthday on this Republic Day holiday. What a nice way to celebrate your birthday. Who is celebrating their birthdays today? We want to help you celebrate it in a big way, like we always do here. Okay. Who is but do you know anybody who is celebrating their birthdays today?
Today, no. No one comes to mind. But I think we'll put out a lot of the designs and that we've done for you.
Yes, but before that, attention all parents of first-year SHS boarding students. EduPark, the Ghana Education Service approved and supported national SHS initiative implemented by Prospectus Ghana, is now in progress across Ghana. Parents across the country are already registering so that their children's trunk, machintos, mattress, pillow and plastic chop box will be ready and waiting at their school before reporting day. Do not delay and be caught in the usual last-minute market rush, carrying heavy items under pressure. With EduPark, your child does not need to travel to school with these 4 essential items. To register, simply dial *713*281#. Visit any ADB branch or go to www.eduparkgh.com. Make payment, keep your receipt and present it on opening day to collect all your child's EduPark items. Your EduPark registration follows you to any SHS you are placed in. Avoid the stress, avoid the rush. Just prepare with confidence, all at a very affordable price. EduPark, approved and supported by GES. For more information, you can always call 050-0600-607 or 0302-955-050. EduPark, no stress, no wahala. And let's see whether the birthdays are ready for us to help you celebrate your day in a big way. All right, Kezia, we love you. Kezia, we love you. And Ni Ai, happy birthday. You're a GMB 2018, happy birthday. Queen Sarah Na Adole, GMB 2008, happy birthday, Queen. Mr. Kwame Chebafo, happy birthday, sir. Harrison Senyoja from Ho, happy birthday. Auntie Pat, happy birthday. Mrs. Deborah Addy, happy birthday. Alvin Nana Jr., happy birthday. Godrika Addy, young lady, happy birthday. DC01 Theophilus Nilaye, happy birthday.
Ezekiel Success Duno from your mom, happy birthday to you. Madame Maunyo, happy birthday. Richard Dadzi, happy birthday to you as well. Felix Issel, CEO of Pan and Tilt, happy birthday to you. Mr. George Ofwe Bado, happy birthday. Sikapa Oyiman Amponsa Dechi, Sikapa Oyiman Amponsa Dechi. Osei Wayne, happy birthday to you as well. Happy birthday to Martin Nupese. Hager Ayesu, happy birthday. Gia Alexa Hammond, happy birthday to you. Ruby Marty, happy birthday as well. Josephine Samba, happy birthday to you. Okay, from your brother Mark Benz, your name is not attached. Frederick Moffat, happy birthday as well.
Okay.
I guess that's where we draw the curtain.
How would you say your holiday has been? It's early days yet.
So it's been good. I mean, I would have wished to
be tossing in your bed.
Yeah, but Charlie, when I was coming, the roads were empty. People were not around.
Yeah. So anyway, my name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you so much for joining us. And yours?
I'm Joseph Akable. Do enjoy the holiday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. We are back on Monday with another edition of Newday. Stay tuned in.
Yeah.